into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Very good morning, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Graham Richards. You're, of course, live with Expresso on a Thursday morning. Trying times, really interesting times. We know this, but even more impetus on our role now to provide an informed and inspired start to your day. And so far, this crazy week, we have dealt with it. We have survived thus far. We know schools have closed now across the land, according to our president's proclamation. We are going through a state of national disaster. But as a nation, we have risen up and we are dealing with it in whatever way that we can. But it still remains very much a firm focus of how we get through these times. And I think us as a show, we want to be able to help in whatever way we can, whether it's helping you with school, whether it's helping you at home, whether it's help spreading the right kind of information with regards to food. Please stop buying all the food. I'm going to say that right now. Please stop buying all the food, stockpiling toilet paper and doing crazy things like that. Jamie.
Good morning.
That was a bit of a monologue. I'm sorry.
Little mouthful.
Was a monologue?
I was like,
okay,
good morning.
Because I'm inspired, but really good to see you. How are you doing,
Good
love?
to see you. Good, and you? I feel like I'm very excited for today because, yes, we've been focusing a lot about the coronavirus, but we haven't spoken about the effects it has on children and kids and how we can protect our kids. So that is something I definitely want to get into today in Parent Talk as well. And then, of course, you're looking gorgeous today because it is a Thursday, so it's all fashion Thursdays today. So, hello.
Is it blue or is it teal? Because when I walked in, it was like, oh, teal, teal.
I would say teal. Teal.
Teal. I'll own it. I'll own my teal top today. But loving it, feeling fresh, and that's the point here, people. Yes, life must go on, so we're going to do whatever we can to put a smile on your face, but also be here to be a shoulder to cry on. So if you want to share your thoughts with us this morning, how are you dealing with school at the moment? How are you dealing with the lack of school or varsity as a parent and as a learner? We'd love to hear from you. I love what learners at Camps Bay High School in particular are doing, and maybe we'll get a bit more of that in our news headlines.
Well, it is now a minute after 6 o'clock, and here are your news headlines on this Thursday morning. On the national front, the new regulations for the Disaster Management Act gazetted yesterday stipulate that those who spread fake news about the coronavirus can be fined or serve a 6-month prison sentence. The regulations also warn a similar sentence for someone who intentionally exposes someone else to the disease. Meanwhile, legal experts have said that the government has the right to override the rights of people and force them to be tested, quarantined, or isolated. Now, Transport Minister Fikile Mbalulile said yesterday that the country had imposed a total ban on cruise ships because of risks associated with the coronavirus outbreak. South Africa now has 116 confirmed cases of the coronavirus, and there's been an increase of 31 with 6 more cases of local transmission. The number of new cases since Tuesday night's announcement increased by 31. 25 of them have travel history through Europe, while the 6 others have no travel history. Confirmed cases worldwide have passed 200,000 and some 8,000 people have died. On the international news front, pangolins, once prized items at the markets of Gabon's capital, Libreville, have of late declined dramatically in popularity. This as a team of Chinese researchers suspect that the pangolin transmitted the novel coronavirus to humans at a game market in China's city of Wuhan. Now, Chinese buyers who used to come up to snatch up the pangolin supplies are nowhere to be seen, dealers say. Trading the endangered animal, considered to be the most poached in the world, is illegal in Gabon. In other news, 77-year-old Joe Biden has scored decisive victories in 3 major Democratic primaries, earning him a nearly insurmountable lead over rival Bernie Sanders in their race for the party's presidential nomination. Now, the command performance speaks to the eagerness of many Democrats to coalesce around the moderate flag bearer and challenging Republican President Donald Trump after several other candidates dropped out of the contest in recent weeks and have endorsed Biden. Now, by all accounts, it is an astonishing reversal of the fortune for Biden, whose campaign was left for dead just 1 month ago after poor showings in early voting states. And now news of a Cape Town school with a big heart and an open hand. Now, while many learners are extremely elated that their schools will be closed until after the Easter weekend, the thoughts of those at Camps Bay High School in Cape Town have turned to the learners needing assistance during the extended break. Now, the school has recognized its social responsibility of uplifting and assisting those in need, and subsequently it has made up several food parcels which will be distributed to each needy learner's family every week for the next 3 weeks. And what a tremendous example for the rest of Mzansi to follow. And here's a further thought: having bought enough food to feed your family, perhaps consider offering your domestic helper a few items too. I think it's fair to say we're all in this together, and the more folks that we can access and help to supply with healthy food, the better off we will be as a country. Well, on that note, let's take a look at the first sports news headlines. Here's Graham.
Thanks so much, Kat. Let's start with football this morning. The South African Football Association has made the decision to suspend all football in the country due to fears over the spread of COVID-19. SAFA President Danny Jordan announced that the suspension will apply up until the 4th of April. Sports Minister Nathi Mthethwa gave the Premier Soccer League the go-ahead to look into playing matches behind closed doors, but Jordan and SAFA reiterated that no matches will go ahead. Then on to cricket. The South African cricket team has been asking to undergo a 14-day period of self-isolation after returning from the one-day international tour of India that was cut short. That due to concerns over the spread of the virus. The players arrived back in South Africa yesterday after they played no cricket in India. Cricket South Africa's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shaub Mandra, said the team had effectively been in isolation in India, but they decided to follow expert guidance on the prevention of the spread of the virus by going into self-isolation at home. The right kind of message to spread. And then on to wrestling. A live audience will be missing from World Wrestling Entertainment's biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. WWE this week announced that it has decided to hold its event on the 5th of April, but without any fans in attendance amid coronavirus concerns. So the 36th annual WrestleMania would have drawn upwards of 70,000 fans. The sports entertainment company has not yet commented on whether they will still tour South Africa this April and May. So we'll certainly watch that space, and that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's get our first take on the weather.
Thank you so much, G. Happy Thursday, happy Klein Vrydag to everybody. Now, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures this morning. Thank you so much to Barbara Ann Hall, who sent us the spectacular orange sunrise from Cape Town, where plenty of sunshine can be expected, with warm temperatures reaching a maximum of 22 degrees. Now, another one came through from our regular photographer, who is Father Khan, who sent us this grey skyline from Richards Bay, where you can expect times of sun and clouds, with pleasantly warm temperatures reaching a maximum of 29 degrees. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, but right now let's take a look at the temperatures for the rest of the country. Now, if you find yourself in Polokwane, heavy rainfall is expected, ranging from 16 to 28 degrees. High humidity also coming through for you, Umbombela, with a low of 17 and a high of 30. For you, Pretoria, it is 16.29, Johannesburg 14.26, Mahikeng 15.29, and if you do find yourself in Klerksdorp today, your low is 15, peaking at 29. Now, a northwesterly wind of 15 kilometers per hour can be expected for Kimberley today, with a low of 18 and a high of 30. Then high humidity coming through for Bloemfontein today as well, with a low of 14, peaking at 28. Richards Bay 21.29. For you, Pietermaritzburg, it is 17.28, and then a southwesterly wind of 15 kilometers per hour for South Africa's playground Durban, with a low of 23 and a high of 28. High humidity also coming through from Tata today, reaching a high of 27 with a low of 16. For you, East London, it is 20.25. If you find yourself in Craddock this morning, your low is 14, peaking at 31. Port Elizabeth, PE, 18.24. And then high humidity also coming through for George today, ranging from 15, peaking at 22 degrees. Now, the coolest start to the morning can be found in Sutherland today, with a low of 9, peaking at 27. A southerly wind of 17 kilometers per hour can be seen in the mother city, Cape Town, today, ranging from 15, peaking at 22 degrees. Worcester, 13.31, Springbok, 10.30, and as always, the highest temperature in the country can be found in Uppington, with a low of 19, peaking at 34. Whatever the weather, wherever you find yourself, happy Thursday, everybody.
Yay, it's a happy Thursday. It's a
Klein
happy Thursday.
Vrijdag, everybody.
Klein Vrijdag. Does it feel like a Klein Vrijdag?
It actually really does.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I woke up thinking it's a Friday, then
Oh, okay. So
was
you're
like-
feeling a bit of disappointment right now?
slightly, but I'm happy because I get to do this again tomorrow morning.
I get to wake up early again. Yeah. Celebrate that. Listen, we want to find out something from you. If you go onto our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page, we want to know, how is the coronavirus affecting your schooling and varsity experience? Of course, this past Wednesday, officially, schools closed down.
Yes.
Until after the Easter weekend. And I'm assuming this goes the same for universities as well and other institutions of higher learning. So how has it affected your experience? In fact, one of our former Tropical Island of Treasure contestants, Lihle,
Yes.
she was supposed to be graduating, and when I asked about how everyone's doing on social media, she's like, well, graduation is cancelled, and I'm very disappointed, and you can understand just how what a big knock that must be. You've
It
been
really
working hard for
is.
3 years to get your honours, and that final stage of it, when you step onto the stage and receive that glory from everyone in attendance, has now been taken away, and it's very, very unfortunate.
It's disappointing, but at the same time, it needs to happen because I know a friend of mine is currently visiting me, because she was meant to graduate next week,
Oh, yes.
Tuesday. And people have made all these reservations, B&Bs, booking flights for their families, and now it's just like, it's either you've wasted money because they can't travel anymore.
Oh yeah, because some places aren't even covered by this kind of insurance because this is not
Exactly.
defined like in contract law as like an act of God or anything like that. So let us know, some very interesting conversations happening out there. So how is the coronavirus affecting your schooling and your varsity experience? We would love to hear from you. Hashtag Expresso Show. We'll see you on the other side of a short break.
Only you can make my day. Feel Good Breakfast Show.
A very warm welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Thursday morning as we continue to start your day. And let's do so by reflecting very momentarily on the world of technology and what is going on out there. A very interesting story about how Spanish police are using drones to enforce social distancing during these coronavirus
And a
times.
good yell, a good yelling. Who doesn't feel like yelling in these trying times? So Spain is currently, obviously we've heard this on the news, one of the highest risk countries in the world at the moment with regards to the spread of the coronavirus. The government has ordered a mandatory quarantine since Saturday. That means that all citizens are being forced at the moment to stay at home except for necessities like buying food or medicine or for those instances of work where they have to actually go in. So in order to help enforce this, the Spanish police, they've started deploying drones, okay, with loudspeakers into public areas, and if too many people are caught congregating in the same place at the same time in the streets or disobeying this quarantine, then they get yelled at by police via the drones.
Perdón, señor. Señor en la casa. Señor en la casa, señor. Por favor.
Or do you think it starts like, hola? Hola. Hola. Por favor. So Spain is, all jokes aside, currently sitting with almost 15,000 totally in total confirmed cases. How quickly that is ramped up. Really, really crazy times indeed. So our thoughts go to Spain at the moment.
Yeah, and with every country that's affected, I mean, in the news reports this morning, more than 200,000 cases now worldwide. So this is requiring extraordinary measures. But if you want to flip the script on that and take a look at what some might be saying is a great thing, online gaming is now up by 75% in the US as a result of the latest developments in terms of the coronavirus outbreak. Now, Verizon, one of the US's biggest wireless internet service providers, has announced a 75% increase in online gaming since the coronavirus outbreak. And this is all since last week when Americans first started self-isolating. And video streaming is also increased by 12%. And interestingly enough, social media usage has remained pretty much the same, probably because it's already reached its peak. It can't
get any more saturated.
So if you are self-isolating, then maybe now is as good a time as any to start getting into some gaming out there. You know, there's a whole new world.
I wonder if these sectors or industries that are experiencing a spike should get taxed so that we can spread some of that income into areas that are being hardest hit.
Well, that's a possibility.
Just to balance things out, because the markets are crashing.
Yeah, there was a story about how the US government plans on implementing tax measures linked to the gaming sector, so maybe that is a very good thing to do. And speaking of games and a way in which they can be used for good. Earlier on, we were asking on social media how the coronavirus outbreak and the news updates are affecting your schooling and university experience. And one of our cameramen, Peter, was telling us about how school in Japan had used Minecraft to build a hall.
And I'm
presuming each student then build their own little character so that they could still have graduation. So it's all going to be played out on Minecraft and everyone's going to stream it. And that's brilliant.
Absolutely awesome, man. And of course, I think a lot of parents out there looking for something to help occupy the time with the kids at home. And there are educational games, hey?
Yeah.
There are games that kind of push our minds a little bit. So maybe that's the answer.
Sporting. I mean, the average game of FIFA takes like 12 minutes.
Actually, you can play out the rest of the Premier League
season.
Please do that. I'll follow you. I'll report on that every morning. Just please
Each
give us
team
some...
needs to nominate their own South African player, and let's play out the rest of the Premier League season. In fact, the Premier League, the PSL, the Serie A,
and I promise you, if it's good enough, we'll report on it. Every morning I'll report on it. I will.
As official as we can.
These boys, I promise, I don't know. But listen, if you were in self-isolation, what kind of game would you be into?
If I was on lockdown with my family or my housemates, 30 seconds or general knowledge. I think those would be some fun games.
Self-isolation? No.
By myself, I don't know. I'd probably go crazy a little bit. I'd read a book.
Okay.
And you?
Probably Mario Brothers, like just off the top of my head, Mario Brothers, yeah.
That's interesting. Well, interestingly enough, Tulu is joined by our gaming guru, Gareth Woods in Johannesburg, to review a game that is filled with many possibilities.
It's actually a game that allows you to create other games. Let's take a look at it.
Our Our dreams are the theatre of the mind, the place of endless possibilities, and this week we touch on a game that explores exactly that with our resident gaming expert, Gareth Woods. This game gives players the opportunity to play, create, as well as share games with an online community, and it's called Dreams. Gareth, what is this game all about?
Wow, I have to say this is one of the hardest games to try and describe because it's not just one type of game. So what Dreams is a whole almost software creation package. You're given all the tools to make your own game. And I mean, it's just amazing what guys have created. Anything from first-person shooters to wrestling games, fighting games, racing games, you name it, someone's created it. There's even genres you've never heard of, guys have made it in Dreams. And if you've ever had kind of an inclination towards making your own game, this is just a great way to start. There's just so much to see and do. I just want to jump in and show you. Basically, the game splits between dream kind of playing and dream making. So we're just going to play some Dreams at the moment. And as you can see, there are just dozens of games that people have made, all with the software that's provided in this game. That's what's so incredible. I mean, I've just selected a couple. You can see there's so many, but like, let me just show you some of them. Geez, where even to start? Let me go to some of the ones I've played before. So it's hard to believe that these sort of games are just made with the software that's provided. Someone spent the time, made the game, and you can do the exact same thing. This one's called Sonic Adventures, and I mean, look how good this is. Someone just made this in the game. I mean, the game is almost semi-professional looking. So we're loading into the Sonic game. I'll just show you a couple of seconds of this. Okay, so here we are in Sonic Adventures. As you can see, it's like a speedrun game, you know, that someone's made. So that's what this game is about, just going fast and all that. I really don't have time to show you all of them, so I'm just going to jump back in and show you some of the different games. There are just so many. Let's jump back into Dream, surfing. Let's do some cooking with this one. So this one's quite funny. It's you have to cook using the controller. As you can imagine, it's a little bit difficult. Just answer the phone, and now we're gonna try and cook. So let's raise our hand up and let's fetch the knife. Yeah, okay, cool. We've got some onions. Let's put the onions in the pot. Go in there. Okay, no onions. There are no onions in this meal. Maybe some meat. Yeah, let's have some meat in the pot there. Beat your heart out, Expresso cooking show. There we go. Let's try the onion, tomato. Okay, switch off the radio. Get rid of that. And the food is ready on the plate. Never mind. Okay. So you can see really very different types of games. Let's try one more just to show you the absolute variety that you get here. Ones I've played before. So this is a cool one. It's like a speed running game, 2D with a ball. So let's go. Race to the other end. And so basically you're just trying to get to the other side. Really cool sort of physics game. And obviously you're trying to get the best score. There's leaderboards and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just absolute variety of games. You can make your own. You can play some of the games that are on here. There are all sorts of recommended ones. So once you start playing a certain style of game and it says you like racing games, whatever, guys have recreated entire games. Like, I mean, if you've ever played the Silent Hill game, someone's recreated in Dreams. I've seen guys recreate like all sorts of games. He has Crash Bandicoot. But yeah, just so many cool games to check out.
Who does it appeal to? Who's it for?
So it's for anyone who wants just a weird variety of games. Value for money certainly is in spades here. And if you've ever wanted to, you know, dabble at making your own game, this seems like the kind of software that, you know, it's pretty easy to pick up. I mean, you use your controller, that's it. There's no software, keyboards, mice, whatever. Literally, the PlayStation controller is all you need to be able to make your own games. It's amazing.
You seem quite excited about it, and you're very much into Dreams, I must say. So what is your rating out of 10? How much are we giving it?
There's nothing like it. I'm going to give it full marks. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. It's phenomenal. If you're looking for value for money, there's just so much there. If you're looking for variety, there's so much there. If you're looking for a creative space to be able to make your own stuff, I don't know, if you've got kids and they're interested in making games or eventually becoming programmers or game developers, this is just a great, safe space to be able to like do their own thing. It's phenomenal. It's flawless. It's really, really good.
Full marks, a 10 out of 10 from our resident gaming expert, Gareth Woods. There's a little bit of everything in there for everyone in Dreams. So if you're looking to create something, if you're looking for something that is not conventional and make your dreams come true, definitely check this one out.
That game looks very interesting.
It looks
World of
a
gaming.
10 out of 10. You don't understand. Gareth doesn't just give those out liberally, yeah? That's quite something. No, I love the idea because it's going to inspire kids to start thinking about programming and how to design games, and you never know. And we've seen a lot of games come out of South Africa. Some big money games come out of South Africa, so that's awesome. You FIFA, I'm assuming, if you had to while away that, if you had
If I were to play alone, I'd try and, like, I'm still in Division 10 right now, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. You can't play Ultimate Team on Division 10. It's like the lowest rank ever.
Oh,
but Scrabble is better. I'd play Scrabble.
I smashed
By
a little
yourself?
Scrabble, 30 seconds in isolation if you've got someone.
30 seconds by yourself.
You don't have to talk to someone when you play. I mean, you can play it
Guys, also, who wants to play games by themselves?
But isn't it self-isolation? Isn't that the point of self-isolation? Like,
I'd feel quite
by
cool
yourself?
if I could play Fortnite properly, so I'd like to learn how to play Fortnite properly, build a character and buy some cool things and have...
What about you, Jenny?
You have enough time to do
I'm going to stick with Mario Brothers because you don't need anybody. I just want to clock the game.
How does the song go?
90s.
Really?
How does the song
I
go?
remember getting really ill. I don't know if that's it, but I
That's
remember
the African version.
getting really sick when I was young and being quarantined, I think with like a chicken pox or mumps or something like that, and playing Mario Brothers on one of the little Game Boys.
Yes.
For hours and
Good
hours and
times.
hours. The Game Boy, I think, is Game Boy... Do you still even get Game Boys? No.
You do.
No.
You're on the black market, probably.
No.
You shop on the black market?
No, I don't.
So how would you know?
Come on.
Because, like, I don't know.
I've got suspicion.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
I found myself wanting to go woohoo because it's your birthday, that time of the day where we wish you, our loyal and loved viewers, and you are loved, a very happy birthday. But you share your day with someone quite special, and I'm smiling because I didn't know this was his first name. Walter Bruce Willis. Walter Willis.
I know,
suppose
it
it doesn't really
doesn't
sound the same as Bruce Willis. He's the ultimate action hero. He turns 65 years old today. Undoubtedly one of the coolest, greatest actors of our time. He starred in so many iconic roles and iconic films. But he's not only an actor, he's also a producer. And for those who didn't know, and you can see via the picture of the guitar, he's a singer. Our action hero is a crooner. He can sing. What do you think he sings? Like country?
I need a shining star.
But he began acting way back in the 70s. 50 years later, he has managed to appear in over 70 films, widely regarded as the quintessential action hero. Two-time Emmy Award winner, Golden Globe Award winner, four-time Saturn Award-nominated actor, said to believe that his net worth is around $180 million. Whoa. Bruce once declared that he hates working out, but for a 65-year-old, looks pretty good. Happy birthday, Bruce. Yippee-ki-yay.
Now to the real celebrities, you guys at home, a happy 9th birthday to Siyamthanda Unami Nkwanyana. You are my shining little diamond, the best thing that has ever happened in my life. That's beautiful. I love you to the moon and back. Continue loving, giving and caring for others from your mom and your family.
Very, very
And then a happy birthday to Tamia. God always bless and keep you safe. Enjoy your birthday with your Josie friends. We love and miss you lots. This comes from Chantal, Tyrone, Tyler, and Ma Henry.
I'm guessing she's away from the fan up in Jersey. But we continue our birthday list to my beautiful granddaughter, Jalen Murray. We love you and want nothing but the best for you. Stay the well-mannered, soft-hearted young lady that you are. We all admire and love you so much. You have come into our lives at the perfect time, and every year we grow to love you even more. That's sweet, man. Love you always from Mom, Mummy, Wayne, Uncle Darby, Nessie, and Damon. She's gorgeous.
Cute.
Happy birthday, Jalen. Then Mubarak, to my son, may Allah protect and guide you. May all your duas made for you and made by you be accepted inshallah. Ameen. Love from your mommy. Boy, happy birthday.
Then keeping it going, keeping it flowing, a happy 20th birthday to not only my best friend, but my sister as well, Nikita Andrews. God's richest blessings on your birthday and many more to come. I'm glad to have met a friend as genuine as you are. Lots of love from your best friend, Tamsin. That is so cute. I want a best friend like that.
Aww.
But then I wish my daughter, Khairunisha Peters, a happy 22nd birthday. We love you, and this comes from your mommy, daddy Gainan, and Junior. Happy birthday.
Junior, happy birthday. And then closing it out, happy birthday to my husband and our dad. May God bless you more. Have an awesome day. We love you. From your wife, Kayla, Aiden, and Cara. That's going out to Andre. And then I'd like to wish baby Quillen a happy first birthday. I hope your mommy and daddy spoil you rotten. I love you lots. That's from your auntie, Cheryl Dean, and the family. Gorgeousness all round. Please keep those cute pictures coming and send us a vid or two. We love to see you singing happy birthday. Send us that 15-second video, 071 640 6551, or you can email your dedication, beautifully written dedication like this morning, birthdays@cordova.tv. And if we haven't gotten to you, I'm sorry. Here's wishing you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday
To you, happy birthday to you, happy
birthday, dear.
cat.
No, mine's later.
Happy birthday to you.
That was the second iteration. Because you're supposed to wash your hands for as long as 2 happy birthdays, right?
Yes.
All right, because we're in the kitchen, guys, and you got to keep the hands nice and clean while you're preparing food. Muy importante. And we're making something quite delicious today, aren't we?
It smells really good, actually. Can't wait. But it looks good.
It
Something
is.
else
It
is in the
is
oven
very
and it
good.
smells good.
Yeah. In fact, whatever you're about to do, stop it right now. Sit back down in your seat. We're about to make the most delicious bread, a bread that will fool you into thinking that you're eating a delicious pesto and tomato pizza. And I'm talking about the Clover extra virgin olive oil caprese bread rolls. And it couldn't be easy to make. Only just a few ingredients that we're going to run you through. And of course, washing your hands. Very, very important.
I've already washed my hands just in case you were wondering.
Have you?
Kat, you were here. Come on.
No, I did see it. Just to make sure that our surface is nice and clean as well before we roll
Some
it.
wet wipes.
Yeah, so you got some dough that you've obviously made.
I see some oil in it.
That is to keep it moist, my dearest Kuhle.
All right.
And we're going to be getting this out of here now, and we're going to roll it out onto the surface. Before I do that, I need to actually do something very important, and that is dust the surface with a lot of
And what is the importance of doing that before you place your dough on the surface?
Because the dough is moist, it would stick to the surface otherwise if you don't dust it. So the flour...
Yeah, quite a like cat.
Huh?
Can you knead?
Of course.
No, really?
Of course, yeah. I've needed... Look, I mean, I have a technique, Bona. You know, if I just had to even myself. I've got that...
Unala, that thing.
Hey, man!
You have to, just for final touches.
And of course, dusting your roller as well. So this is the final product that we're going for, and how you achieve that. First, you need to roll your dough out into a square, ne?
Why specifically a square? Or you can choose?
Because after you've rolled it out into a square, you're going to add all those beautiful ingredients. As I said, it looks like, or it's going to taste like you're eating a tomato and pesto pizza, right? And then you're going to roll it up, cut it up into Swiss roll-like shapes, and then add it to your pan and into the oven. Just make sure that we've got
all of these ingredients are my favorite ingredients ever. I mean, tomato, pesto, cheese.
Yeah, it's your thing?
Literally my thing, and I can imagine why it would taste like pizza.
Yeah, exactly. So this obviously takes a little bit of doing. But you get the gist of it, right?
I do.
Get it nice and... Because it's still very thick at the moment. It takes a while, okay? Nikki, you could have helped me out a little bit here.
Have you done this before, or is it the first time?
This is the very first time. I've never made a caprese roll before.
You're doing a fantastic job so far.
I've been told that it's very, very easy, so no need to worry. I think so far we're doing well.
You are doing very well.
Flour everywhere, though. Okay. What you can do in the meantime is get yourself ready to assist in the placing of all the ingredients. But we're going to start first with a layer of the olive oil. Okay, I think this is good. This is looking good. Okay, not as squarish as I would have liked it.
How thin should the base be? That's my question.
Well, you're going to use that little brush to just moisten the top of the dough. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. Look at this. Just to find that...
Technique.
To get it into that square shape.
Being innovative.
This is more rectangular. But hey. Who's judging? Okay, so now you can start dusting off there. Or wax on, wax off with...
wax on, wax off.
Nice thin layer. All over. Quickly now. There we go. SMS the keyword clover to 33728 to receive the link to the recipe as well as the ingredients list. That's looking very, very good. Nicely done. Okay, next up we're gonna layer some pesto onto here.
Using the palette knife.
Let's look at that. Just get it nice and mixed. And Nicole told me a secret that she made this pesto with half pesto and half spinach, which makes it nice and healthy. And it also means that it's going to go a lot longer as well. So you're going to spread.
And it smells absolutely divine.
Right. This is what it's all about. Just make sure you get it all over the place there.
I feel like we need more pesto.
Don't worry.
Nicole, we need more pesto.
No, we're good. Don't worry. Make sure it gets all over the place here. Because you want to make sure that pop of green...
The corners as well?
...comes through.
Oh.
Go. How's that looking for you? Is that to your liking?
Absolutely good, and I can't wait. Now, remember, the Clover extra virgin olive oil rather, is made with a blend of 4 olives for a unique flavor and aroma, high in vitamins E, A, D, and K. And helps in the fight against heart disease.
Really?
And so...
Okay, then we're laying our tomatoes. See, it's very, very easy. There we go. And you can start sprinkling some of the cheese.
As you place all the tomatoes.
Exactly. Simple, easy, delicious.
See, if you are in quarantine, you can do this as like a group assignment.
Group assignment, yes, exactly.
Or like a bonding session, you know?
Yes, exactly. Some salt and pepper to taste. And then here's the... Hey. That's enough cheese now. I think we're doing well.
Yes, we are.
Good. Get some more these beautiful spices here. And then this is the trick now. You need to roll this, right?
Oh!
Yeah. So you roll it up.
I think this is where it becomes very tricky and difficult.
Hey, we're not. Once you get that first roll, hey, you gotta talk to your bread as well. Hey, in order for it to comply. Okay.
Oh my goodness. And we put this in the oven for 15 minutes, right?
This is after you've now cut it up into...
Oh, we still need to cut it up. Okay, while we cut it up, let's just take a quick recap on how we got to this final stage.
Just pinch it at the end there, just to make sure all the goodness stays inside.
Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Made with love by Clover.
And also made with a lot of love by us in the kitchen. SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. So it's going to look like that after you've cut it up. You've taken your roll and you've cut it up into small little Swiss roll pieces like that. You're going to get that in the oven for 15 minutes. And it should come out looking something as delicious.
But that's a bigger version of this.
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
Don't try to compare this and that, okay?
And then you're going to add some balsamic glaze over if you want to give it some presentation. And when your guests arrive, you know, cut it up roughly, tear it up. It's a beautiful bread to enjoy with your friends. What do you think?
Love it, and I can't wait to taste it.
Excellent. We'll do that a bit later on. But enjoy the recipe. Try it out at home.
Olive Pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, live, large and in charge on this Thursday morning. And what a pleasure it is to welcome back to the studio one of our favorites. I don't know, I think I last saw her in 2013. We were talking about that in the makeup room earlier on. But Palani Booboo is in the studio!
Thank you.
Great to have you back, sis. Are you well?
I'm very well.
You're
thanks.
looking well.
Yeah, well, putting in a lot of work there. You know, vitamin E and
absolutely,
stuff.
Absolutely. Listen, we're looking forward to chatting music with you and most of all to hearing you perform later on. But first, we've got to cover some headlines from the entertainment world out there. And of course, amidst the fear and anxiety of the COVID-19 pandemic, which is such a serious issue globally, we couldn't help but notice that more and more celebrities are finding ways to self-isolate and socially distance themselves. whether they're showing signs of the virus or not, and some are even more vocal than others. And in fact, Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift both urged fans to stay indoor and be safe while there's no cure for the virus besides taking the precaution that have been listed by the World Health Organization. Now, other stars like Bibi Reza have challenged the United States government to stop mortgage bills, utility and rent to help Americans deal with the pandemic, as this has, of course, been some of their major concerns. If they stay away from work, how do you then get paid? How do you secure the bag and pay the bills? Now, she took to her Twitter account and wrote, quote, "The US government should put a stop to these, at least until the coronavirus is under control. Millions of Americans are worried about keeping their jobs and their homes instead of staying safe." She then tagged the US President, Donald Trump, who, of course, is quite popular on Twitter, in the post, which comes after she lost a 45-year-old acquaintance to the virus. Now, actors Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, as well as NBA player Stephen Curry, are amongst the celebrities who all have donated financially towards projects that are assisting the less fortunate in these trying times, which is absolutely amazing to see communities coming together, like we spoke about what the school in Camps Bay is doing to help children in need. Now, in light of all of the heaviness, hashtag Rona and Chill and Quarantine Bay, as you spoke about yesterday, are two of the phrases that have emerged since most of the world has been sequestered to stay at home. And fans couldn't help but notice that Kim Kardashian has found a lobster randomly walking down the street outside her home in Calabasas, California on Monday. Take a look at this. What is going on?
What's your life?
And then lobster's still like, get away. Get away from me, human. I don't want your...
So this happened on Monday, and this after she herself was practicing a bit of social distancing. A few hours later, the lobster itself joined the conversation on Twitter, apparently, seemingly amazed that it had just walked past Kim Kardashian's house. It wasn't quite sure where it was. Look at that!
That's my favorite thing.
I think I just Calabasas lobster is now a thing, guys.
2,000 followers. 2,000 followers.
Stop, that's crazy.
Get away from me, human. Get away. Get away.
I mean, there's enough time for someone to open a Twitter account for a lobster.
Hey,
It's probably
we got
Christina.
time.
It's probably her mom just being like, let's secure the bag.
They also got to keep the lobster alive. I mean, if you're going to open a Twitter account for a lobster, you got to keep it alive.
Yeah,
Yes.
You don't eat it or anything.
At the octopus during 2010, what was that?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oh, the octopus.
Is he still around? Or is he...
I hope,
No.
man, because octopus, I think they can live for a long time.
Maybe you could predict what's happening in the Premier League. Anyway, many celebrities have taken to social media to share just what they have been getting up to while they've been in isolation. And yesterday, actor Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson were released from hospital after 5 days in quarantine, and they've moved to a rental house in Australia where they're waiting it out while eating.
Saw this post, yeah.
While eating.
They're eating Vegemite, and they're feeling a lot better. What's Vegemite?
It's like a
Marmite,
Marmite, but it's a
oh.
vegan version. It does not taste
Wait.
It's an acquired taste.
Oh, because
like Marmite.
it's usually made from like more beef.
Meaty kind of.
That's the other one. That's the bee one.
Bovril. Oh, you know, it's like say Bovril.
Anyway, tennis superstar Serena Williams took to Instagram to share a video of her makeup being done with a caption describing everything she'll be up to in the next 6 weeks of solitude, affirming that she will let us know how it's all going. So there she is. Says, oh, he's having a good time.
Where is she going?
I don't...
That's
you
weird.
need to go onto her Instagram to find out.
and then someone's doing her makeup.
Yeah.
But I get it, they're wearing gloves and stuff.
Okay.
Exactly. Actress Kristen Bell shared her quarantine schedule. Wow, it's a schedule now that she sticks to with actor husband Dax Shepard and their daughter, which includes fighting over video games and toys and raiding the pantry due to forgetting to serve lunch and drinking gin and juice because the store is out of mixers. That doesn't include the dog, I'm pretty sure.
Life's good, eh?
Another person who's capitalizing on spending precious time with their children is late-night host Jimmy Fallon, whose PSA about washing your hands is quite catchy. Look at this.
Wash your hands, wash your hands. Do not touch your face. Wash your hands, wash your hands. Do not touch your face. If you wash your hands and do not touch your face, then the world will be a better place.
All he needs now is the band behind him. But anyway, we're glad to see that there is some positivity, some lightness to the situation, despite how serious it is worldwide.
Hopefully the Roots will do like a reply. They'll do their own version of that. That is, I must say, that's the one thing, being able to spend more time with my boy has been really special. Having to do like all of his school activities, they sent like home packs for us to do that with him at home, and it's really, really sweet being able to do that.
Yeah.
Shame, man.
Well, let's talk about the lady of the hour, Palani Booboo, who is a unique voice with a cohesive global sound and style fused with soul, jazz, and funk. Her voice is old soul, yet her music is so beautiful, so catchy. She's a storyteller at heart and an intentional performer, a feel-good singer with a conscious and meaningful lyrics as well to her music. And she joins us this morning ahead of the release of her highly anticipated latest album, Folklore. It is good to have you once again.
Thank you.
Oh my word!
Yes.
What? What a time!
Yeah.
What a time!
Yeah.
Tell us, bring us into the space of the project Folklore and how it was bringing it together, all the influences that have brought you to this stage in your music life.
Right. So in the last 7 years, since I've been here, I've been traveling the world and sharing my past 2 projects. And in traveling, people look at you as an African and they go, who are you and who are your people, your origin, and they want to hear the sounds of the people. And so what I did was I dug deep into my roots to find that music that I learned as a little girl and then reinterpreted and rewrote songs. It's the songs, like I do the Dung Beetle song, the crab song. I sing about Upondo Lam and what the horn is in African culture. I sing about men, women, and Ukula Gwedini, and men going to the mountains. And so it was a journey of storytelling and sharing that. So the album is a 17-track album, interweaved with interludes and spoken word that translates that music for a global audience. And so interweaved into that is like a more contemporary folk soul kind of setting and bringing the messaging forward and giving it meaning and understanding, not only for our kids in Africa, but also sharing it with the world. And that's what folklore is. It's like undocumented stories, traditional stories, folk songs, tales, proverbs that we, haven't captured. And so I thought I'd take it upon myself to curate and capture that music and make it a thing. So it's Folklore Chapter 1 because I'm already working on Chapter 2.
Hey,
It's almost like a study in anthropology. It becomes a study of kind of the human narrative as much as the musical narrative.
Right.
How does something like this evolve when you start with that idea in your mind? Okay, I'm gonna reconnect with something like that to where you are now. How much does something like that evolve as you're doing it?
So I first performed the folklore in 2015 in New Orleans, and I remember writing these words to it to explain to the international audience what it was. And then I came home and I performed it over 4 years with a band. And so as I performed it, I realized that music is the best platform to put in other art forms. So you'll see the artwork is by an illustrator in Ghana. The photographic pieces are from Kenya and spaces that I've been. And so folkloric music can capture really the culture from like the outfits, as in like fashion to photography to landscapes. And it did evolve in my mind. It started from just music and became spoken word and became fashion, art, illustrations. And there's just so much more that we can capture.
History.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Did you find yourself learning and appreciating more of your culture and who you are and where you come from and where your people have come from after digging so deep?
Yes, I did. It's really taken me on a trip. More than anything, the first part of it was experiencing like the music for what it is. So like the Xhosa language is very onomatopoeic. It describes the sound, the word, the movement, the motion. It's very like a sensoric thing. So as I performed the music, I realized the intelligence of what we create in the harmonies as well, the call and response. And I thought we have to celebrate that. And then also I dug in and I had to call my dad and elders and ask, what is this thing about the horn? Why are people singing about I'm like, what is this song about? And it invokes some sort of like, it takes you back.
Yeah.
It's an ancient trip, whatever's modern stands on the ancient. And for me, I was able to learn like my culture and the history and Chief Fagwe in my area and why people wrote these songs. Why do the women gather firewood and what does it mean when the woman gather firewood? I'm going to sing one of those songs today. And I'm going, women go out into the world similar to back in the day, gathering firewood and bring it back home so they can create warmth and, nurture their homes. And so all I've done is just like go back and go, actually, there was just so much rich history and content and also identity and meaning in everything we do. We often get known for dancing and gyration and, we love music that dances and gyrates. But more than anything, there's just so much depth in everything that we actually do. And if we just dug into it, we'll find it.
That's incredible.
If you could go back and tell 13-year-old you something, what would that be?
Hey, 13, that number. It's okay to have gotten a little lost in the journey, but it's good no, actually, what would I tell my I did get lost in the journey, though. I would tell them that it's okay because, you know, in order to find yourself, you do need to get lost sometimes. And so that's been my journey. And I think knowing that, you know, being aware and staying awake to something and introspecting is the way to finding yourself.
Wow.
So to the 13-year-old others,
would you have listened?
need to inspect.
Do you think?
My 13-year-old self was quite introspective, but she was a little like lost to the world and conditionings. I'm very happy to be here now because I mean I took a different route. We've had this conversation. I worked in the corporate world before I came back to music. You know, we all like look out into the global scene before we look back home. And so, yeah, I would tell them that really they should look, you know, here, right here where they are.
Keep doing what you're doing, girl.
When is the project dropping?
Well, it's actually dropped. It is online, and I've been on the road with it. It's on every platform, Spotify, iTunes. I've also started a community heritage project with the project. So there's a website I've built called www.folklore.community because I felt that this music is developed in communities and we should feed it back into the communities that started it. So I go back into the Transkei and do a residency and capture all that other content around the music and speak to elders and women, tell stories. So on there we fundraise. I've got t-shirts and tote bags and buttons and anything you can find, posters of the artwork, to fundraise to capture more and more of our folklore.
Oh, get a doctorate. Gentlemen.
An honorary doctorate, because I don't know if I'm going to go back to school.
A queen to lead the people we are ready to follow. Palani Booboo is on our Feel Good Breakfast Show stage this morning, and I know that you will be enjoying every single piece of her performance. Make sure that you do not miss out. We'll see you on the other side of a break.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with Immuenza.
On this thing. I wanna go on to a place where love resides. Said I wanna go to a place that's warm like the summer sun. Said I wanna see a smile or two, sunshine, rainbows, seashells and flowers. Said I've never felt the way I did when I first found your heart, sweet love. Said I wanna do these things that only lovers do. I just need more verb and some sexy sounds. I'll do with you. I wanna dance with you. Sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back,
everybody. You are still keeping it locked here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on SABC3. I mean, what a morning already. Palani Booboo, her voice is going to take us
the sound check is
places.
sounding immense. And, of course, we've got her all morning, so we want to stick around. The first hour of the show has flown by. Let's get into those news headlines.
2 minutes before 7 o'clock, and here are your news headlines. On the national front, the National Assembly Speaker Thandi Modise yesterday said all political parties in Parliament unanimously decided that the institution's operations should be suspended until further notice as a precaution against the spread of COVID-19. Other news is that all bars, shebeens and some restaurants must close at 6 p.m. under strict new state rules with immediate effect. SAA has cancelled some 162 flights until the end of the month, and the Muslim Judicial Council has declared that Friday's congregational prayer will be suspended for a period of 4 weeks. Now, the new regulations for the Disaster Management Act gazetted yesterday stipulate that those who spread fake news about the coronavirus can be fined or serve a 6-month prison sentence. The regulations also warn a similar sentence for someone who intentionally exposes someone to the disease. Meanwhile, legal experts have said that the government has the right to override the rights of people and force them to be tested, quarantined and isolated. Taking a look at international headlines, schools in the UK are set to shut from tomorrow until further notice as a response to the coronavirus pandemic, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said yesterday. This academic year's exams will also not go ahead, and deaths in the UK have reached 104 after a further 32 people died in England. Meanwhile, another baby has tested positive for the coronavirus in the UK, becoming the third in the country. Scientists are still researching the impact of the coronavirus on children and are asking why it appears to infect relatively few youngsters. Now, in other news, pangolins, once a prized item on the markets of Gabon's capital, Libreville, have of late declined dramatically in popularity. This, as a team of Chinese researchers suspect the pangolin of transmitting the novel coronavirus to humans at a game market in China's town of Wuhan. Chinese buyers who used to come to snatch up the pangolin supplies are nowhere to be seen, dealers say. Trading the endangered animal is considered to be the most poached in the world is illegal in Gabon. And now for a heartwarming story, news on our four-legged friends from, of course, a world authority. A professor known to many as a super vet, or the super vet, recently shared a profound view on what love is like for a dog and what humans can learn from it. Now, Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, originally from Ireland, is a world-leading orthopedic neuroveterinary surgeon, recognized and respected globally as a true thought leader in his field of expertise. Now, he says the love we feel for our dogs is incredibly special, but after decades of working with them, he believes that it indeed pales in comparison to the love that they have for us. He said, and we quote, "If we could learn more from them, the world would be a happier place. For as humans, we know what unconditional love is, but we are not capable of it. Dogs are. They are not judgmental or vindictive. Their affection is guaranteed." I guess it's true to say right now that a dog is indeed a man's best friend. That's a roundup of the 7 o'clock news headlines right now. Let's take a look at the sporting headlines.
So after a meeting yesterday, the South African Football Association has made the decision to suspend all football in the country due to fears over the spread of the COVID-19. SAFA President Danny Jordaan announced that the suspension will apply until the 4th of April. Sports Minister Nathi Mthethwa gave the Premier Soccer League the go-ahead to look into playing matches behind closed doors. But Jordaan and SAFA reiterated that no matches will go ahead. Then on to cricket. The South African cricket team has been asked to undergo a 14-day period of self-isolation. Then after returning from their one-day international tour of India due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus. The players arrived back in South Africa yesterday after they had played no cricket in India. Cricket South Africa's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shaub Mandra, said the team had effectively been in isolation in India, but they decided to follow expert guidance on the prevention of the spread of the virus by going into self-isolation at home. On to wrestling. A live audience will be missing from World Wrestling Entertainment's biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. WWE this week announced that it has decided to hold its event on the 5th of April, but without any fans in attendance amid coronavirus concerns. The 36th annual WrestleMania would have drawn upwards of 70,000 fans. The sports entertainment company has not yet commented on whether they will still tour South Africa this coming April and May, so we'll watch this space closely. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take a look at the traffic.
Thank you so much, G. It's about 3 minutes after 7. Let's take a look at what's happening on the road this morning. Now, if you find yourself in Gauteng, Pretoria, there is a stationary vehicle on the N1 southbound after the Proof Plus interchange. Now, the left lane is currently obstructed, so please be on the lookout for this. Then moving on down to the Western Cape Langa on the N2 inbound, there is a stationary vehicle before Bunga Avenue. Now, the emergency lane is obstructed, so please approach with caution. And then lastly, on the Metro Rail Southern Line, there will be an extended travel time of 20 to 30 minutes on the Simonstown line due to current infrastructure conditions and sets out of service. That's where we leave your 7 o'clock update for your traffic. Here's a look at the weather with Kukle.
Thank you so much, Jamie. We have asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Gershwin Shaw sent us this amazing sunrise from Kimberley, where you can expect times of sun and clouds with a thunder shower in spots in the afternoon, reaching a maximum of 30 degrees. Trini Vermaak sent us this delightful sunrise from Scottburg in KZN, where times and sun can be expected with warm temperatures and a thunder shower in spots reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. Now, you know we absolutely love seeing those sunrise pictures. Please make sure to keep them going on our social media platforms using the hashtag Expresso Show. Now, to have a look at the temperatures for the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane. A partly cloudy day with a low of 16, reaching a high of 28. High humidity for Mbombela at a maximum temperature of 30 degrees and a minimum of 17. Pretoria, 16 is the low for this Thursday and 29 is the highest temperature. And high humidity for Johannesburg at a high of 26 and a low of 14. A partly cloudy day in Mahikeng with a low of 15, reaching a high of 29. Klerksdorp follows suit with a low of 15, reaching a high of 29. Northwesterly wind of 15 kilometers an hour in Kimberley, with temperatures ranging from 18 and reaching a peak of 30. High humidity for Bloemfontein at a maximum temperature of 28 and a low of 14. Richards Bay 21-29. Pietermaritzburg 17-28. Southwesterly wind of 15 kilometers an hour for Durban at temperatures in the 20s, a low of 23, reaching a high of 28. High humidity for Mthatha with a low of 16, reaching a high of 27. Southeasterly wind of 11 kilometers an hour for Emonti, East London at 20-25. Kredok, your high is 31 today with a low of 14. Port Elizabeth, 18 is the minimum temperature for the day, reaching a max of 24. High humidity for George at a low of 15, reaching a high of 22. Now, the coolest start to the morning is in Sutherland with a low of 9 degrees and a maximum of 27. All around a sunny day in Sutherland. Also in Cape Town, a southerly wind of 17 kilometers an hour for Cape Town at a low of 15, reaching a high of 22. Worcester, 13 is your low and 31 is your max. Springbok, 10-30. Highest temperature in the country goes to Uppington with a maximum of 34 and a minimum of 19. Now, remember, whatever the weather is in your part of the country, make sure to have yourselves a fantastic Klein Vrydag.
I think we should just officially name Thursday or rename it to Klein Vrydag.
Yeah.
It sounds better when you say it that way.
It really does. Well, every day is kind of feeling like a Klein Vrydag now because schools are out, varsity out, colleges, all kind of institutions of higher learning are out. What impact is that having on the institutions themselves? We're about to find out right now.
A very good morning to Expresso family. We are coming to you live from our Johannesburg studios this morning. Now, we know that schools have been on shutdown, academic institutions have been on shutdown, but what exactly does this mean for the 2020 academic year? How will it impact the academic year and learners? And to help us answer some of those questions, I am joined this morning by Boston City Campus CEO Ari Katz, and he's going to be unpacking that angle for us. A very warm Expresso welcome to Ari.
Morning, thanks for inviting me.
Now, it must be a very tense time in the academic world with this coronavirus pandemic globally. Does this give an opportunity for other alternative methods of teaching and learning? And if so, what exactly are those?
Okay, so I agree with you. I think it's an extremely stressful time for everybody, and especially for learners who really don't know what the future holds. I know that they've spoken about institutions reopening after Easter, but we've seen globally that in fact, this has taken a lot longer than a couple of weeks to actually sort itself out. And of course, as you mentioned, there are lots of other opportunities available. As you know, we live in the 4IR world, and there are many other opportunities for digital learning. I think the challenge really is that digital learning isn't only about putting lectures online. Digital learning and teaching and learning in general is a much broader experience where the content needs to be curated in such a manner that learners are able to interact with each other, learners are able to interact with educators, they can upload their assignments, they can do assessments online, and there's feedback and mentorship, etc. So teaching and learning really can still be such a rich experience if curated correctly and if geared up for the digital learning experience.
I mean, so this is what the conversation is about, or what's been the conversation around e-learning. That's exactly what you've just explained right now, right?
Yep.
So what about those learners who don't have access to, for example, telecoms at home, or they don't have access to a laptop at home to follow e-learning? What about them? What can they do to make sure that they stay afloat of their academics?
So I think it's a time for all South Africans to come together, and I would call upon the telecoms companies that this is a time to zero-rate data for education, for teaching and learning. And they can do that quite easily by creating channels specifically for teaching and learning content as opposed to non-teaching and learning content, if I can call it that. So I think it's a time for telecoms companies to pull together with education institutions and to actually come to the party and provide access to data to learners across the board.
And can e-learning take place from primary school right through to tertiary, or is it limited to a certain level of education?
I think it's really a function of how well the e-learning content and experience is. And as I said before, it's not just about a lecture. It's about a total experience of how you curate the experience of content, assignments, interaction, etc. And depending on how that is curated, then one can technically do it across the board. I mean, you asked earlier around what do students do if they don't have access. So, I mean, it's not only about having access from home. They can get access, for example, in the Boston environment. We have 45 centers where students can go in, provided they practice social distancing, sanitization, etc., and they sit far apart from each other, etc. But they can go to libraries. There are many other opportunities as well. But I think it's an opportunity for the telecoms and for South Africa to pull together and come to the party.
Ari, like I mentioned earlier on, it's a very tense time right now in the academic world, in the world in general, with the coronavirus pandemic. And being a student is already a very, hectic and tense position to be in. Now, this is adding a lot more pressure, especially now heading towards exam time mid-year. What tips do you have for students currently trying to readjust to new methods of learning now that the coronavirus has broken out in South Africa?
So I think it's important for students to explore multiple opportunities. So, of course, besides textbooks, which is an obvious solution, it's time not to sit at home and waste your time, but actually to engage in the teaching and learning experience through the e-learning opportunity. And if your institution doesn't necessarily have it, there are many channels available. So in the school area, for example, one can log on to things like Khan Academy, ivdigital.education. The Boston website has multiple opportunities through Boston Connect for home learning, etc. And Boston City Campus, as I said, we have our entire teaching and learning experience already in an online fashion. So our students should not be disadvantaged in any way whatsoever, provided they've got access to technology and they've got access to data.
Thank you very much, Ari Katz. Yeah. That is the CEO of Boston City Campus. And I think the most important message we can take away from this conversation is don't waste your time. Use that time very, very, very efficiently. You know, if you have access to the internet, make sure that you are using those online platforms to further your learning and stay afloat of your academics. That is all we have from Ari Katz this morning. It's been such an insightful conversation. Thank you very much for coming through. And we look forward to having you on Expresso in the near future, Ari.
Thank you.
For now, though, it is back to you guys in studio.
Thanks very much, Tsulu.
Tsulu.
Great insights there. And it's kind of like inspired me. I'm thinking like with the amount of time we have now on our hands, gigs being cancelled, engagements being postponed, what now? And I know you said you got a big mission of unpacking.
Yeah, no, just getting my house. And obviously I've got a baby on the way in like 10 days. So it's kind of getting that space and getting my family into that place. And I'm finding kind of management of expectations, because there was the initial phase of like, okay, this is happening, we're going to go into it. And then it gets gets real, and it's like, okay, but how do we work from home? How does my mom work from home? How do I ensure that my family is safe? How am I ready for the baby? All these things. It's, you know, I'm lucky enough to have resources to be able to plan for this. You know?
Exactly. We asked you early on Facebook what the experience is like for you regarding the impact of the coronavirus on your schooling and your varsity experiences. Octavia Mashaba says, I'm doing grade 12. COVID-19 pandemic led to my school closing sooner than expected and opening later than expected. So this means that we are behind with the syllabus, and the only way to catch up is to add more hours on top of our 10 hours that we already are attending. This is not good since learners have different learning capacities, very fairly said. And when the schools reopen, the teachers will focus more on finishing the syllabus rather than making us understand. That is a very... Wow, well stated observation.
Well, Octavia, the fact that you're taking cognizance of all of this, you're really thinking deeply about the situation, and you know, I think you've got to take it upon yourselves as learners to use the resources that are available. You've got to concentrate on revision and understanding and make connection. We still have the ability to communicate with one another. Hopefully teachers and schools are doing that, taking it upon themselves to communicate with their learners and make those resources available. Another message coming in from Clinton Malamule saying, good morning, guys. Classes in my university have been cancelled. I'm quite worried because when we reopen after the Easter holidays, we'll have too much work because semester tests and assignments also have been cancelled until further notice.
Sure.
A lot of anxiety around that. How do we make up? I think because it's unprecedented, no one really... You know, and it's so new as well. Everyone's still trying to come to terms with it.
Yeah, Marcia Shabalala, excuse me, says, good morning. I was supposed to be graduating on the 27th of March. Now it's been cancelled. I'm so sad. I was looking forward to this day, and this means I'll never have the experience of my name being called during the people and walking on stage. Oh, not forgetting the money that I've wasted.
No,
you certainly haven't wasted money.
Not a waste.
The certificate and the degree or qualification is still yours. And hey, you know what? Let's begin to think of novel ways of celebrating things like graduation outside of the standard practiced on stage.
Well, this is the thing. Maybe you can post a video congratulating all those that are graduating, and everyone who's graduating can do the same. And when we are past this phase, we can fill a stadium with people who are graduating.
About that?
We can have some of the coolest artists and MCs in the country be there to help celebrate your graduation with you. But thank you so much for sharing. We certainly empathize. We know that there is an emotional attachment to all of these milestones as well, and that's, I think, the hardest knock.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. The Feel Good Breakfast Show continues.
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McCafe. Great coffee, simple. See you after the break. Who says second hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso right here on SABC3. Now we are in the beauty room, and there's so many ways of expressing yourself, and what better way to do that, obviously, than looking good.
Absolutely. Now, we use fashion to inspire, to advocate. We even use fashion to tell a story. Now, today's inspiration comes from Belgian fashion designer. I love her so much. Diane van Furstenberg, because I feel like you must say it like that. Now, she's actually known for her iconic wrap dress, one that we are wearing today.
Yes.
Diane is also best known for speaking her truth and being unapologetic about it. Now, she drew inspiration from her mother, who was also a Holocaust survivor and prisoner of the Auschwitz concentration camp. It was here where she learned that fear is not an option, and she says something like this:
Style is something each of us already have. All we need to do is find it.
I love that.
I love the silence after that, because truly style is a representation of who you are and your personality, and the best way to express yourself is how you look on the external and also how you are in terms of, you know, your internal.
Love that.
Love
not
it.
just about looking good. Also, have you ever wondered how people get that matte finish, that flawless look? Maybe you are looking for a flawless finish. No matter what formula you're looking for or what shade you want, Hooers has got you covered with a wide edit of the best foundations and primers and all the tools that you need for that look, everybody.
Absolutely, man. Now, joining us in the beauty room to give us a bit of, you know, a rundown in terms of what foundation to use is the one and only Danielle, everybody.
Hello, Mama.
Hello. She's also the editorial director at Women's Health.
That's
Thank
so
you
nice
for
to be
joining
here.
us.
Pleasure.
Good morning.
Harry, I like that we're focusing on that matte finish and look, but there's so many foundations on the market. How do we know which one to go for? How do you know which one will suit us? Take us through it.
Guys, it's not even how many there are on the market, it's the fact that we expect so much from our foundation.
Yes.
It's got to cover us but not look like a mask. It's got to look good on camera but also in real life. It's got to make us glow but not too much. It's tricky. We ask a lot. I think for me, the thing with a foundation is to find something that suits your skin from a texture point of view, so something that feels good. And honestly, you can try that on your hand as much as you can try it on your face. And something that gives you the coverage that you're after. So those are the things you need to already know for yourself. Like what feels good on my skin and what kind of coverage am I after. Do I want full foundation, you know, a full face, not the mask, obviously, or something much lighter?
I am a full coverage kind of girl because I feel like I do have slight blemishes, especially on the side of my cheek. So that kind of foundation would definitely work for me. Now, Woolies has a variety of foundations in stock and they use different formulas. What kind of formula do they use and how do you know which one works for you?
Okay, so I mean, that's always the trickiest part, right? Because you suddenly look at a whole lot of foundations, there are 22 colors in this particular range, and you're like, okay, so I can maybe get the shade right, but where do I even start? So for me, it's about looking. So what Woolies have done is they've got 4 different ranges. There's and there's something for everybody. So for something like this, which is a mousse, it's a much lighter foundation coverage. So if you want something that's a little bit lighter, it feels area on your skin, and by area I mean kind of bubbly. It doesn't feel heavy. That's a light foundation. If you go for something like this is the oil control. It's a much fuller coverage, and by its very name and definition, oil control, it's mattifying. It feels good on the skin, especially if you've got an oilier skin. There's something for fine lines and wrinkles. So there's the age control, age defying, which is something that I think for me personally is the one that I'd be going for. And then there's the concealer stick. So again, if you're going for a light foundation coverage, you also have the opportunity to use a stick first, which is just for blemishes and things like that.
Yes.
So if you do want to cover blemishes, like you were saying, but you don't necessarily like a full coverage face, to use the stick first and then your foundation after that.
You can also try the stick out. The mousse is actually quite soft, and I think I found my perfect shade already.
You got it.
By the way.
I'm the foundation goddess of good times. Yeah,
I love it.
So then maybe you can teach me, because something I always struggle with is knowing the difference between concealer and primer. What is the difference? When do you use it? How do you use it?
Perfect, because for ages I didn't believe in the power of a primer. And I think the trick with a primer is to think of it more if you want to use it as the last step in your skincare routine rather than the first step of your beauty routine. So when you've masked and moisturized and done all the many steps, and there seem to be more and more now that you need to be doing before you even begin, primer as your last step, and then you can go through to concealer and foundations and all those sort of things. So what primer does is it just gives you a base that will mean that your coverage is more longer lasting. But for me, what I really like, I don't particularly like a very full coverage foundation, but I still like a primer. I find that the foundation goes on a lot easier once you've put a primer on first, and it does last longer. And then concealer is obviously concealer. It's literally use it for the blemishes, for under eye, all those kind of things. Well, under eye there's a click one that's a lot nicer, but for your blemishes and things, and then concealer after that.
But the concealer you can also use for contour, because that's what we do.
Yes.
Highlight, highlight, give you that face beat for the gaps, you know.
Whereas the whole like camera versus real life.
Yes. My favorite thing about a primer is for oil control, because I get really oily, especially being in studio for 3 hours with hectic light. You do kind of get to sweat a little bit, or you do get like that little bit of shine. Now Bernice is here behind us applying summer foundation on our model. What formula is she using on the model, and how did she choose that specific foundation?
So it was great. I mean, when we got here this morning, Bernice was just chatting to the model about her skin tone and what she looks for. So she already started by prepping her face. So fully moisturized. She used a bit of concealer on the blemishes, and she's doing the foundation far more professionally than something that I would ever do, by actually using her hand and a brush, whereas I'm more of a like finger.
Oh, you dab.
Yes. And sometimes, you know, do what I'm not supposed to do, which is, you know, rub.
Oh, no, girl.
Dab,
You shouldn't rub?
I'm a sponge girl.
Oh, because, you know, aging. Aging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
you've got to dab and be delicate with the face.
Got it.
Which is why a brush is great. It gives you a far more even distribution of colour over your face, and you can really see what you're doing, but you have to be a lot more patient than me if you want to use a brush.
Yes. No, but she's doing a fantastic job, and I absolutely love so far what I've seen in terms of using it on my hand, swatching it on my hand, and also on the model, is that the undertones are very complementary of our skin tones as well.
I think that's what's so great about, I mean, it's one thing to say that you've got a lot of colours in a range, and I mean, I think that's such an important distinction to make as well, because 22 colours or shades in a range can also be incredibly overwhelming.
Yes.
Because you look at it and you're like, okay, well, am I honey, caramel, nutmeg, tan? It's like, okay.
If I am honey, what kind of honey is it?
And what's the undertone, and where am I going with this? It can be so incredibly confusing.
Yes.
But I think these shades the undertones are really beautiful. So they give a really consistent finish to the skin that's very natural looking, which I love. But that's also about that's as much to do with the formulations in terms of how they glide onto the skin.
Yes.
And they do feel good.
Yes.
They're not drying. I think that's such another key point with foundations, is to make sure that they feel moisturizing. And the other big thing with foundations, SPF.
Please.
Bernice stresses this all the time.
SPF, honestly. It's such a big part of it, and it's so great to know that there's another layer of skincare that is also providing SPF.
Danny, you are the plug. We look forward to your soft skin fabrics a bit later on. But there you have it, ladies. I hope you ladies at home got some nice tips on how to achieve that flawless finish. I also have some great news for all the W Rewards members out there. Now listen up. Woolies has an exclusive promotion of 20% off foundations and primers, and you can get an extra 5% off when you pay with your Woolies card.
Now,
no, tell them.
Okay, what are you waiting for? Should I ask them what they're waiting for? Shop these foundations and primers at Woolies, in store, online, or on the Woolies app.
All right, it's time for some music on your feel-good breakfast show on this Thursday morning. Not to worry, we like that, man. That little sound check you were doing there, very, very cool. Palani Booboo, of course, is here. Her recent and latest release, Folklore, is out, chapter 1. But right now, we're about to step back a little bit into your second offering, which is Warrior of Light. And you're about to perform one of the songs from that offering called Sweet Love. Take it away.
I wanna go to a place where love resides. I wanna go to a place that's warm like the summer sun. Said I wanna see a smile or two, sunshine, rainbow, seashells and flowers. Said I've never failed the way I did when I first found your heart, sweet love. Said I wanna do these things that only lovers do. I wanna laugh with you, I wanna sing with you, I wanna dance with you. Sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love. Here we go. You're the only one for me. Sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love. And when the summer turns to winter, I'll still cuddle up all that we share inside, my love. And when it's cold, I wanna moan with you, I wanna cry with you, wanna be down with you. Sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love, sweet love. Yeah. Summer or fall, I'll call on you, my love. Yeah, yeah. Summer or fall, I'll call my love. Sweet love, sweet
Word. What a way to start the day.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Was that song dedicated to somebody in particular?
Wow,
Was that, you've got to go to a special place to get those kind of beautiful melodies.
You know preemptively. Remember my first project, Journey of a Heart, was all founded on heartbreak.
Yeah.
And Warrior of Light was breaking out into the light. And I was invited to write an album in France with 7 other artists. And we were staring at the Pyrenees, and it was a sunny day, and I felt my heart crack open.
Oh.
And so it's a song that yearns for love. So I want to find that place. I haven't found it yet. Well, supposed, but yeah.
Within.
Yeah, I think it was a love within as well.
Sure.
A love for music, a love for whatever it is I was doing at the time.
Yeah,
So.
I just want to walk the streets with that song in my...
Yeah.
I'm here. I don't know about you, but I'm here. Let us know what you thought about that performance on our Feel Good Breakfast Show's Facebook page. We'll have more from Palani Booboo a little bit later on. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. That was beautiful. Tropical Island of Treasure is back for a 9th season, and this time around we're coming to you from the Dutch Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shared 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
Caribbean island of Curacao. Here, 6 celebrities and 6 smooth fans will pair up to compete for fame and fortune and the smoothest treasure of all, a shade 1 million rand. 3, 2, 1, go! Catch the new season of Tropical Island of Treasure Curacao every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. from the 3rd of March on SABC3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Through it all, still so many reasons to celebrate. Welcome back as we dive into more birthday celebrations and a huge number of fantastic dedications. So thank you so much to everyone who showed the love this morning to spread that love with us. We're going to kick it off right now. Happy 13th birthday to our handsome son, Tyreek. Thank you for the light, love and joy you bring to our lives. I pray God's richest blessings upon your life. May your day be filled with love, hugs, kisses and loads of spoils. We love you unconditionally and you will always be our baby boy. Never too old, Tariq, never too old to be a baby boy. Then a happy birthday to our angel, Ishara. Thank you for being an amazing mum and wife. May God bless you abundantly. Enjoy your special day. Lots of love, hugs and kisses from Sunil and Sunisha. Happy birthday, Ishara.
This one goes to Venetia. Happy birthday to Venetia. May you have a wonderful day and may God bless you abundantly from the Isaacs family. Carlisle is also celebrating his birthday. Happy 4th birthday to our beautiful baby boy, Carlisle. You light up our lives and we wish you an amazing birthday. Love, Mom, Dad, Tiana and family.
And then a 60th birthday to our brother Vernon Edgar Botha. May the Lord bless you abundantly and keep you safe for many more years. And this comes from your father and sisters. They love you so much, Vernon. And then we wish you, Thika Savnarian, a happy birthday. Have a super duper day. Enjoy your new wheels. And safe travels. Loves from Vinay, Charmaine and Mrishika Nad Ashka.
Very, very sweet. And I'd like to wish my daddy, Cedric Esterhazen, a happy 53rd birthday. May God bless you with many more years to come. We love you and always do and will always do. That's coming to you from all of your loved ones, Cedric. I wonder if he's a helicopter.
Is that a helicopter? I was about to say.
Yeah. Exciting times. Then this day, a special gift was born. A beautiful star was given the name Apiwe Trele. Loving you has been the most wonderful and amazing thing in this whole wide world. Happy birthday to you, my friend. That's coming to you from Happiness Nzamande and Luyanda Shanga.
This one goes to Guy Teno. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
Guy Teno van Veek. God bless you more from your sons, Gailiano, Seth, and wife, Sade. Happy birthday. Onze Luineba is also celebrating, oh, look at her and a little afro. I wish my adorable daughter, Onze Luineba Joy, also known as Onze, a happy first birthday. We thank God for blessing us with this wonderful and bubbly soul.
She looks absolutely gorgeous, guys. Thank you so much for sending through those birthday messages. We'll always try and get through as many as we can. Keep them coming. 0716406551. If you can send a vid, please do it. We'd love to hear you sing, but we love you. Happy birthday.
All right, we're back in the kitchen of deliciousness to make all things good, especially if you're looking for ideas to keep you entertained and the family entertained during this time of self-isolation. Then why not get into the kitchen to make these wonderful burgers that we're about to make now. Grace Stevens joins us in the kitchen. A very good morning, Gracie.
Oh, it's so nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Lekker.
Hands clean, they've been washed, surfaces have been wiped.
We have.
We are ready to go. Okay,
We are.
so what is unique about these burgers that we are making? I see giant mushrooms.
This is 100% vegan, so we're celebrating the meat-free day to day.
Good,
and
good.
there's not a lentil in sight. They, I really think this is a great way to get your family involved. We've got to get our kids involved now with making meals and stuff. So should we,
Let's get started. All right, where I may be of assistance, please let me know. We've got some onions going there in the pan.
I've caramelized my onions and they smell absolutely incredible.
To which we add?
I'm going to toss in some spinach. You can use baby spinach. Just I've chopped up some spinach here and just enough just to wilt it, really.
Yeah.
So
spinach is one of those foods that is just so healthy that I want to eat as much of it as possible, probably partly due to its connection to Popeye, so childhood memories, but then...
Oh, yes.
Secondly, because when you go to the stores, it just comes in such abundance. It seems like it thrives and grows everywhere, every time.
Absolutely, and I do find that it lasts quite well in the fridge. And here's a tip for you, that you can use baby spinach in place of lettuce in your kids' lunch boxes, in their sandwiches, and then they're getting one of their veg.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's... I think spinach is a superfood, and it also blends so well with other foods.
It does, it does. Not intimidating in terms of flavor. It doesn't overpower.
So we're just going to wilt this, okay?
Okay.
And then I'm going to season. So some salt, because of course spinach does need some salt and pepper to that.
And any good chef knows that they need to season while cooking. So.
And you will need to wilt this right down. Then I'm going to add some spring onions. You don't want to cook your spring onions. You just want to put those in after everything is nicely wilted.
Do those provide a bit of a sweeter flavor than...
I think you just like flavor profiling. So we've got some caramelized onion, then we've got a more subtle spring onion taste. I've got my portobello onions, my mushrooms over here.
Yes.
And so you're going to put this beautiful spinach and onion mixture.
Tell me a bit more about portobello mushrooms. Are they where they're from?
They're huge. I have no idea where they're from. Maybe the Enchanted Forest.
I thought from the region of Portobello, somewhere there.
No, I don't. I think these are just, local.
But they're huge. That's one thing
They
that we
are
do know
huge,
about
yeah.
them. And of course, we are going to be using this beautiful Be Well canola mayo, the original tangy flavor over here. It's endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa, and of course also carries the Cancer Smart Choice seal. It's high in vitamins E and omega-3s, and it helps to lower the risk of heart disease, depression, and arthritis as well. So great ingredient to have
And
in
great
the
for
kitchen.
vegans.
So what are you brushing over there?
So I'm putting some barbecue sauce, and I'm just basting this. This is going to go in an oven for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
At 190 degrees. Yeah. And then every 3 or 4 minutes, you open up your oven and you're basting with some more of your barbecue.
Okay, just to kind of develop that layer.
Sort of like this.
So the mushroom itself will reduce as the water evaporates?
It will, yes. And it's going to get nice and meaty, because these are such lovely meaty mushrooms that you're not even going to need some beef.
So this is actually going to be your patty?
This is my patty, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cool, hey?
It looks good.
Yeah, and
looks
it's going
really
to taste amazing.
All right, then.
So so while that's in the oven, we're going to make a little bit of a nice mayo sauce. I'm using my Be Well mayo here and some mustard.
Yep.
And you just add to taste. So if you like a lot of mustard, you keep adding, and if you want a little bit milder, you just put a little bit less in.
Okay.
Do you want to help me build it?
Be Well to 33728. All right, how do we do it? I see the buns are out.
So we've got our buns out, yes.
And you've given them a bit of a
And I
toasting.
think you must spread some of this on our bun.
Okay.
So our Be Well mayo with mustard goes on.
So I just use a
first.
spoon for that, in fact.
Just use, yeah, you can.
I feel more chef-like if I do that.
All right, you can do that.
When you do that whole...
It's a clockwise motion if you want to be chef.
Okay. Oh, gosh, I went anti-clockwise.
Yeah.
That's so not chefy.
No, no.
How dare you? Okay, there we go. That's looking good. It's a good spread on both sides.
Fabulous.
Make sure both buns are equally decorated. There we go.
Amazing.
Looking good. Then.
Right, here, put my nice mushroom patty on.
Wow, this is really great. Just by the looks of it, I cannot wait to bite into it.
Okay, how cheesy do you like your burger?
Yeah, 2 slices would be good for me.
2 slices, offset them like that.
I like a balance of flavor. Then...
And then some rocket.
Ah, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff.
And then we just pop the bun on top. And just because it's
and make sure you line up your buns. You don't want buns out of line.
No, you got to have lined up buns.
That's good. That's wonderful. Just have a look at that.
How awesome does that look?
Yeah. SMS Be Well to 33728. And as easy and as quick as that, you can enjoy a super cheesy, super vegan burger. And let us know what you think about it. This might be your way of getting back into that meat-freeness, that plant-based lifestyle if you've been looking to pursue that for 2020 in order to improve your health prospects for the year. Gracie, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Let me tell you something about goals. They start way before the celebration. Whether it's football, life, or money, they rise before the sun and race their way up, challenging the distance to the finish line. Because once they reach it, they want to exceed it. They open doors and raise their hands when life calls, personifying resilience and tenacity, and then committing to making a commitment. Everyone seems to know something about goals, but what no one will tell you is how difficult it is to just get going. So you want to know a secret about goals? The best way to achieve them is to start.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, all you beautiful people, to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this beautiful Thursday. Happy Thursday. It's also Fashion Thursdays now. As you can feel it, the air is starting to get cooler. We are heading into winter, and with autumn still glooming in the air, it's time to update our wardrobe with a few key items. Now, this season is all about the soft touch fabrics. Yes, from A-line mini to the faux suede biker, you can get it all at Woolworths this autumn winter 2020. Now, joining us again in studio to discuss the Touch Me fabrics, I like that trend, is the editorial director from Women's Health, Danielle Wakely. Thank you so much. You gave us a matte finish. Now time to
I know. I am everywhere today.
You are everywhere, just giving us the tips and the trends and everything.
I wouldn't mind being touched by those items on the rail because, number one, I love the fabrics and I just love the silhouette themselves. Now, we going into autumn winter 2020, we're seeing a new and key winter trends. What is the main trend right now?
So the big ones that we are having a look at that I wanted to chat to you about today, and you made mention of it earlier, is Touch Me fabrics. And I think it's such a great way of describing all of the winter suedes, velvet, corduroy, leather, knitwear. It kind of has that tactile feel to it that just makes you want to kind of snuggle in and stay at home, which is probably exactly what we're supposed to be doing, right? So Touch Me fabrics, knitwear is massive. And I know that sounds ridiculous, such a fashiony thing to say. It's like, oh, knitwear is so big for winter. Obviously it is, but it is particularly big this year. There's loads of polo necks and cardigans and longer length things that are coming through. And suede, another big one, which I love the play of suede and leather, and there's a lot of both of those things. So key trends for me on that front, and you can see from the rail also key trends is the return of all those beautiful browns and honeys and caramels. Again, it sounds sounds like I'm talking about foundations again, but it's same palettes. They are gorgeous and they kind of feel like you want to...
And they look rich in colour.
Completely. I think that's what I love about some of the knitwear is that it gives you the option to kind of go for something that's a lot brighter, but still works within that colour palette versus all of the beautiful brown knits. And when it gets to things like this, also the embellishment, and there's a lot of those kind of things. So not just something plain and simple, but something with a little bit of detail. There was a lot of that return to the 80s where it came to like those incredible embellished knits on the catwalk. And again, also kind of looking back at the 80s was the return of the tight turtleneck, which again is a great base layer as much as it is something that you can wear on its own, which I really like. It's great to layer over other cardis, to tuck into a skirt, to belt, or to wear with some of the trousers. There's a lot of equestrian style. You don't actually need to have ever ridden a horse to be able to wear it. But there's a lot of these kind of equestrian style trousers that are in store. These are actually in store at the moment, should you be so interested.
And they're also very
which is great. It's a stretchy pleather, which is brilliant and looks really great on. And there's obviously the suede versions of those. And again, like that play of textures where you can kind of just
understand our touch-me fabrics.
I know, and like a knitwear layer tucked into these with a cardi over the top and a scarf, you're kind of ready for winter.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. So that's my vibe.
I feel like you're also very passionate. I've never heard you speak so much. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But what if you had to like break it down for us? What would be some of your key items that you must have coming into autumn winter 2020?
Okay, a key item for me would be a great basic knitwear piece. For me, I've got slightly bigger boobs, so I would go for a V-neck cardigan rather than the turtleneck because I think it's a more flattering shape, but either or. I would go for a pair of the equestrian trousers because I think you're going to wear them right through the season. They'll be great with a pair of boots, but they're really great with a low heel for now. So they've also got a lot of versatility to them. And then a beautiful suede overlay. So either a shorter crop bomber jacket or one of the unstructured. I absolutely love this because I think it's something that you'll be able to wear a lot. It's unlined, so it doesn't feel like you need to have too many layers on underneath. You know, you can throw it on over the top and you're not going to boil as soon as you walk inside. It's a beautiful longer length, it's belted, it's got lots of great detailing around the trench coat idea, but also has a really soft kind of waterfall feel to the fabric. So for me, key buy, I absolutely love these. But the bomber styles are also really great. But again, then you're playing with silhouettes. I feel like if you're going to go for the pants, then maybe a longer length jacket is actually something that's like a lot more wearable.
I mean, there's a modified version of the coat with the model now that you can also, if you don't want a trench coat, you can kind of go for the waist cut.
Well, that's it. I mean, I think that's what I absolutely loved about this jacket. I love the colors. So all of those muted shades, like if you move away from the browns, it's not bright. It's lots of these like moss greens and the charcoals and things like that. The jacket for me hangs really beautifully because it's that faux suede, and it looks great with the colors.
Take the jacket off quickly, if you can take the jacket off, because I would also just play around without the jacket. And even
that looks
just
beautiful.
like that. Like for me, it's like, hey, we're going to lunch, but then later put on the jacket and like.
But that's it, and I think the soft knitwears also are so easy to tuck in, so it doesn't need to feel like it's your jersey as an overlayer on top of everything else. It's an opportunity to tuck it into something and belt it, and we saw that a lot. Me personally, on the front row, Chanel, saw that at the catwalk shows. It was a lot of tucked in, belted, really pretty jerseys, even cardigans worn with nothing underneath. So just using your button-up cardi and tucking it in as a layer. They're gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, model. Thank you so much, Jan.
Also on the... Just quickly to talk about the low boots and high boots. This is the start of the season, so there's lots of space to pop those on. And I'm obsessed with snakeskin, so I had to pick those.
Girl, you are just a plug. Thank you so much, Danny, for joining us this morning. Fashion Thursdays is what it is. You remember you can shop this online, in-store, better yet, download the app and get all this inspiration.
Oh, the drama Tuesday night, big night. The emotions, they've pretty much reached boiling point, and really early on already it's happening on tropical island of Treasure, Curacao, as it was the first elimination of the season. I was not ready.
Yeah, you could never have been ready for that amount of panic, the uneasy moments. There was spice galore. Asking Dando Duma all about that on social media as well. And unfortunately for one team, it was the end of the road. Take a look. Orange. Team Orange, you've shown me pineapple. This means that Team Orange, you are eliminated from tropical island of Treasure, Curacao. I look at that and it still kind of gets me like, I'm in shock because it happened so quickly.
And it's so final.
Exactly.
Cheers on a plane.
It's done.
Adios.
Your whole journey from South Africa to Curacao and you were vying for $1 million as a team, that's where it ends. Very sadly for #Team Orange. They were eliminated and of course we're already missing their
Because they were a cool team as well. They were really sweet. We love Bird.
They kept the laughs going. And yesterday we found this funny clip at My Tropica's Twitter page of how Boer and Yaneska were pretending to be Team Cool Red. Check this out.
Trey, these are looking fabulous. Oh. You can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, Nadia, yes. All 6 there. I like that filter.
I like that filter. Yes, God.
Funny, because it's true.
Did you see the one where this is now Yaneska pretending to be Trevor, trying to bicep curl a bottle of Cool Red and going like, oh, 18, Nadia. That's the amount of magazine covers I've been on. And then they cut to the next one where Yaneska is doing push-up and she goes, 350,000. And then Nadia / Boer goes, oh, you're right, that's the amount of followers I have on Instagram.
Again, funny, because it's true.
Oh, man. Listen, Boer and Yaneska, your journey on the island might be over and it might have come to an end, but you certainly have touched many South Africans and they love you for it. You've done it in a short space of time and they will remember you forever. And I'm sure they love you so much and miss you already, man.
Yeah, man, so go and show them some love online. Remember, if you missed all of the action, the drama, the spice, #Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao, on Tuesday evening, you can always catch the repeat on Saturday evening, 8 o'clock, right here on 3.
Next time on Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao, the competition takes an unexpected twist. The top 5 finishers in this challenge will have an unprecedented opportunity to choose a new teammate.
This entire game is going to change.
It makes no sense.
I just want this to be over with. We can't feel sorry for you.
Tropical Island of Treasure, Curacao, Tuesday evenings at 7:30. Repeat Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on SABC3.
my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Of course, Palani Booboo is being told to just stand there, smile and be cute, and she's nailing it. And she is sounding simply angelic. We're going to bring you a performance in just a moment. Right now, though, let's get back into those news headlines.
1 minute before 8 o'clock, and here are your news headlines on this Thursday morning. On a national news front, the Department of Water and Sanitation has urged people living in rural areas to boil water before drinking, cooking or cleaning. Now, this comes after the World Health Organization noted that behavioral change in hygiene practices is key to combating the spread of the highly contagious coronavirus, which originated from Wuhan, China. Department spokesperson Sputnik Ratau says with the rampant pollution of water resources in South Africa, the department is concerned that some rural people who depend on rivers for water for basic use may be exposed to the virus. Now, National Assembly Speaker Thandi Modise yesterday said all political parties in Parliament had unanimously decided that the institution's operations should be suspended until further notice as a precaution against the spread of COVID-19. Other news is that all bars, shebeens and some restaurants must close at 6 p.m. under strict new state rules with immediate effect. SAA has cancelled some 162 flights until the 31st of March, and the Muslim Judicial Council has declared that Friday's congregational prayers will be suspended for a period of 4 weeks. On the international news front, Egypt will halt all air traffic at its airports from today until the 31st of March to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly said yesterday. Egypt will sanitize hotels and tourist sites during the closure, he said, adding that tourists presently in the country would be able to complete their vacations. Tourism is a key factor and key sector for the most populous Arab country. Now, the number of cases in the country has risen to 150, with 3 people succumbing to the virus. Meanwhile, schools in the UK are shut from tomorrow until further notice as a response to the coronavirus pandemic, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said yesterday. This academic year's exams will not go ahead. Deaths in the UK have reached 104 after a further 32 people died in England. And meanwhile, another baby has tested positive for the coronavirus in the UK, becoming the 3rd in the country. Scientists are still researching the impact of the coronavirus on children and are asking why it appears to infect relatively few youngsters. And now news of a Cape Town school with a big heart and an open hand. Now, while many learners are extremely elated that their schools will be closed until after the Easter weekend, the thoughts of those at Camps Bay High School in Cape Town have turned to their learners needing assistance during this extended break. Now, the school has recognized its social responsibility of uplifting and assisting those in need. Subsequently, it has made up several food parcels which will be distributed to each needy learner's family every week for the next 3 weeks. And what a tremendous example for the rest of the country to follow. And here's a quick thought as well. Having bought enough food to feed your entire family, perhaps consider offering your domestic helper a few items too. After all, we are all in this together, and the more folks that have access to sufficient and healthy food, the better off we all are as a country. That's a roundup of your news headlines on this Thursday morning. Right now, let's take one last look at the sporting world.
I think we saw this coming for a while now. The South African Football Association has now made the decision to suspend all football in the country due to fears over the spread of COVID-19. SAFA President Danny Jordan announced that the suspension will apply up until the 4th of April. Sports Minister Nathi Ntep did give the Premier Soccer League the go-ahead to look into playing matches behind closed doors, but Jordan and SAFA reiterated that no matches will go ahead. Then on to cricket. The South African cricket team has been asked to undergo a 14-day period of self-isolation. That after returning from their one-day international tour of India, having not played any cricket due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus. So the players arrived back in South Africa yesterday after playing no cricket in India. Cricket South Africa's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Shaub Mandra, said the team had effectively been in isolation in India, but they decided to follow expert guidance on the prevention of the spread of the virus by going into self-isolation at home. Then finally on to wrestling. A live audience will be missing from World Wrestling Entertainment's biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. WWE this week announced that it has decided to hold its event on the 5th of April, but without any fans in attendance amid coronavirus concerns. The 36th annual WrestleMania would have drawn upwards of 70,000 people. The sports entertainment company has not yet commented on whether they will still tour South Africa this coming April and May, so we'll watch that space closely. That's a wrap of your sport for this morning. Let's take one last look at the roads.
Thank you very much, G-Man. A very good morning to you. A final look at the roads this morning, starting off in Gauteng, out in Germiston. If you find yourself out there, there has been a multi-vehicle accident that's on the N3 northbound after Grey Avenue. One lane is currently obstructed, so please approach with caution. In the Western Cape, on the N12 westbound, there is congestion. That's between Tom Jones Street and the Rietfontein interchange. The average traveling speed over there is 10 k's per hour, with delays up to 21 minutes this morning. It's due to an accident, so please be patient on the roads this morning. And if you're off to the trains, well, there will be an extended travel time of 30 to 40 minutes. That's on the Central Line. It's due to an illegal trespasser incident between Ponteheerville and Netrecht, impacting the Lavistown train service. So please keep a lookout for this. And that's where we leave it for this morning. I'll be back just now with a look at the weather. And I'm back with a look at the weather. And we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures this morning. Such beautiful pictures we've seen. Thank you so much to Barbara Ann Hall for your spectacular orange sunrise from Cape Town. And of course, our regular photographer, Fatakan, never missing in action, sent us this grey skyline from Richards Bay, as well as Gershwin Shaw for your amazing sunrise from Kimberley. Lastly, Drini Famak sent a stunning, delightful sunrise from Scottburgh out in KZN. Stunning pictures. We wake up bright and early tomorrow morning. You send those pictures through to us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. And now I find a look at those temperatures. Starting off in Polokwane, 16, your minimum today, reaching a high of 28, with high humidity expected for Mbombela. 17, that's your low, reaching a high of 30 degrees. If you're out in the capital city, Pretoria, 16, that's your low, reaching a high of 29, with high humidity expected out in Johannesburg. Starting off at 14, reaching highs of 26. It's times of sun and clouds for Mahikeng in the northwest. 15, that's your minimum, reaching a maximum of 29, with Klerksdorp starting off at 15, reaching a high of 29. If you're out in Kimberley, expect a northwesterly wind. It's going at 15 k's per hour. Your temperatures are 18 and 30. Expect some thunder showers over there as well. And if you're in Bloemfontein, high humidity today, 14, reaching a high of 28, with some thunder showers as well. Times of sun and clouds for Richards Bay, 21, that's your low, reaching highs of 29, with Pietermaritzburg at 17 and 28. In Durban today, a southwesterly wind. It's going at 15 k's per hour. 23, your low, reaching high of 28. With Mthatha expecting high humidity today, 16, reaching a maximum of 27. East London, your temperatures are 20 and 25, but do expect a southeasterly wind. It's going at 11 k's per hour. And times of sun and clouds for Craddock, 14 and 31. The friendly city, Port Elizabeth, 18, reaching a high of 28, with high humidity once again today for George, 15, reaching a high of 22. Sutherland, you have the coolest start to the morning today. Sunny days, 9, reaching a high of 27, with Cape Town at 15, peaking at 22 degrees. It's sunny out in Worcester, 13 and 31, with Springbok 10 and 30. The highest temperatures in the country today, that's for Uppington. 19 is your low. You've got a hot maximum of 34 degrees. And that's where we leave it for this morning. Make it a beautiful day. Make someone smile.
Thank you so much, Tabiso. Now, on the 22nd of this month of March, we will be, I suppose, celebrating is the right word, or taking cognizance of World Water Day, a vitally important day when it comes to, I suppose, protecting one of, if not our most precious resource, which is water. So this morning, we are joined by Event Director of African Utility Week, Evan Schiff, who is going to be talking about their focus for 2020 and how one of the best uses of water is for renewable power. Is it that? We will find out this morning. Evan, thank you so much for joining us, especially during these trying times.
Yes, indeed.
I think everyone being tested, and we don't want anything to take away from the relevance of World Water Day, because that is a constant that remains not just on the 22nd of March, but every day, all year round. So what is the focus for World Water Day this year?
Well, World Water Day is a UN-backed initiative, and the focus this year is on water and climate change. And what the UN wants us to look at is 3 different things. So the first thing is water policy and water conservation must be central to any fight against climate change. So what that means is that policymakers need to pay more attention to water and husbanding that resource in order to make sure we can actually address climate change. The second thing is we need to focus on water as a way to help climate change. So if we take better care of water, if we move to more water careful agricultural practices, for example, we can actually help address climate change. And the third thing is we have a part to play. We ourselves, each one of us, can look after water, and that is helping, that is contributing.
Maybe it feels like you're preaching to the choir a little bit here, because I lived through the water crisis of 2017, and we remain in almost a crisis mode, but we've seen a myriad of solutions emerge through these dark times. And even from the presidency down, water has been identified as an area that we need to be focusing on. When it comes to renewable energy, how reliant are we on hydroelectric power? Is enough being done in that regard?
So hydroelectric power is really great from a conservation point of view. It's carbon neutral. It is a renewable energy. Water and rivers keep on flowing. We only use about 6% of our energy generation in South Africa is from hydropower. And most of that is, in fact, imported from Mozambique, from Cahora Bassa hydropower dam there. But what we can do is look at small-scale hydro projects. These are much less ecologically damaging. They're much cheaper, and they can really bring power to communities where that power is actually needed.
What's the stumbling block then? Because that is a very small percentage when you're looking at something that has all of these wonderful positive spin-offs on both sides in terms of climate change, but also we need energy, and there are the disenfranchised. There are communities that desperately need good, clean energy. In that sense, what's preventing it?
Absolutely. So in South Africa specifically, we are a water-scarce country, which means we don't have as many rivers, we don't have as many suitable sites as there are, for example, in East Africa. Where hydro is quite a large proportion of energy generation there. However, there are still small sites, and that's something we haven't yet looked at. But as we move into a place where private developers, private money can actually fund these things, there are still a lot of sites in South Africa that are suitable for this type of technology.
I know you also have been affected by the coronavirus, or at least what our state of emergency that we find ourselves in at the moment. The conference has been moved. It was originally scheduled for May. Has a new date been set, or are you going to roll forward and use other forms of communication? How are you guys approaching this?
So, yeah, we had to take the only responsible decision we could. So we postponed to November. We're now the 24th to the 26th of November. And that's actually twofold. So on the one hand, why not just cancel? Well, we still feel there is a need, and the industry still feels there's a need to talk about these things on a number one hand. And number two thing is, as an event of 10,000 plus people, we spend millions and millions of rands directly in the local economy in Cape Town. And then indirectly, all of our exhibitors are buying exhibition stands or spending money to come to the show. So if we cancel all of that, there are a lot of smaller suppliers, stand builders, caterers, all those sorts of people that actually rely on events like ours for their revenue, for their income. So we felt it would just be irresponsible to cancel completely, and we were fortunate enough to get a date in November.
To be able to move that, I have this feeling that we're going to see around the end of the year there's going to be this massive bottleneck of events, and it's going to be the best time ever, hopefully, for exhibitors. That secondary spend isn't lost. Maybe I could ask you a broader question now, because often, out of sight, out of mind, possibly, when we aren't confronted by the immediate need as we were during the water crisis, we maybe tap off. Are we still doing enough? Are we, as a country, doing enough to conserve this probably most precious resource?
I think we are. I certainly feel in my own home, we still take very short showers. We still collect our water. Everybody many people installed water tanks and other water-saving measures. And that's what was so effective about the City of Cape Town's communication during the crisis, is it actually created behavioral change. And it really feels like people are they remember those scary times of, will we have water tomorrow? What's going to happen? And I think it has created lasting behavioral change.
Yeah, I can remember that day before the supposed, day zero. And we are again faced with very difficult, trying times, but an opportunity for all of us to come together, not just as a city this time, but as a nation globally. There are ways that we can combat, but also find brilliant new solutions during these trying times. Evan, thank you so much for joining us, and all the best of luck. I know we've had to press pause, but keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Graham. Thanks for having me.
All right, time for some more music on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's been a wonderful delight having Palani Booboo in studio with us. Her latest offering, called Folklore Chapter 1, is out now on all reliable music distribution platforms around the world. We're about to hear the very first radio single, called Boom Chair. I want you to share the story about what the song is about and how Boom Chair came into it.
Well, Boom Chair, the rhythm came first. It was Boom Chair, boom, chair, boom, chair.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line in studio, a song about women gathering firewood came to my mind. And then the marriage came together. And for a long time, I performed the song with just those traditional folk songs.
Yeah.
And then when I got into studio to record the album, I realized that the song actually celebrates women. They leave their homes in the morning and come back at dusk gathering firewood. So they work for the home. Women are most likely to be present than absent fathers, you know what I mean? And they're nurturers of human beings, of life, of children. And they're always often so committed to that. So it celebrates women as creators of life, nurturers of life, etc. And so that's what the song is about.
With that in mind, the stage is all yours. Take it away.
You.
Here we go, listen up. It's a beautiful day. Mother Nature came out to play. She's at the right-hand side of God. She creates. The woman in the village, made in her image, they incubate. Mother Nature's call, we've got to do it all. Siyamasi, umfazi. Wenzani, usebenzele kaya, usebenzele kaya. Siyamasi, umfazi. Usebenzele kaya, usebenzele kaya. Eh, boom, che, boom, che, boom, che. Boom, che, boom, che, boom, che. Sabiango, kaya, sabiango. Sabiango, kaya, sabiango. So what? We're telling the same old stories today. When we're out in the world, we're ready to slay. We're conquerors and warriors, ready to save the day. Save the day, Mother Nature's call. We've got to do it all. Siyamasi, umfazi. Usebenzele kaya, usebenzele kaya. Siyamasi, umfazi. Usebenzele kaya, usebenzele kaya. Sabetule, umkontoka shaka. Sabetule, umkontoka shaka. Sabetule, umkontoka shaka. Sabetule.
Stuff of Dreams, beautiful stuff. Boom Chair, as performed by Palani Booboo. Of course, you can check it out as one of the 17 tracks on the brand new offering that is Folklore. Link up with us on our social media pages and let us know what you thought about that beautiful performance. Hope you enjoyed it.
In today's world, your family is defined by who you care for and who cares for you. Every child deserves the touch of care. Vicks.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. Hopefully that giggle has put a bit of a giggle in your belly and you know that it's baby talk time, and we're joined once again by our expert guest pediatrician, Dr. Philip Kutsia, to chat to us about how we can protect our children, our babies more specifically, against the coronavirus disease that has, of course, been making world headlines. And I know that it's been a major concern for you as well, especially given the time where you are right now.
Well, exactly. Philip, always great to have you here. Thank you so much. I hope you feel the love on set. We love being able to plug into you as a resource, especially when it gets quite self-indulgent, because I've got a little one arriving 10 days' time.
Yes, that's
amidst
exciting.
this craziness.
Sure.
Really exciting times, and we couldn't be more excited, but a little bit terrified.
Yes.
Because this is all unprecedented. All we can go on is media reports, often sensationalized media reports, and at the moment we have heard now reports of 2 babies contracting the coronavirus.
Yes.
How worried do we have to be? What do we need to know, and what do I need to be preparing myself for bringing a baby into this space?
Yes, I think the basic principles still remain. So what we know so far, so frequent hand washing and social isolation. But what I need to say with regards to babies and kids in general is, and what we've seen so far, what we know, is that they have mostly only contracted mild or asymptomatic disease, so they don't get as sick as elderly people or people with other underlying chronic illnesses. So far, there have been no deaths in children due to coronavirus. In South Africa, we have about, as far as the last I heard, was 6 cases, of which I think 4 or 5 were actually locally transmitted, so not travelers, but they were all managed as outpatients and have had mild disease.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, to protect your baby, the basic principles of hygiene, hand washing, and social isolation, trying to stay away from crowded places and shopping malls and everything that's been said by the president and said in the media remains of utmost importance. For mothers who are breastfeeding, I think continuing to breastfeed is going to be very important to boost your baby's immune system, because we know babies have immature immune systems, and breast milk is the best way to boost the baby's immune system.
That jump starts the immune system.
Exactly, yes.
With that being said, a bit of a question left of field with the third baby now being infected with coronavirus in the UK, and ongoing research trying to discover why it is that it is affecting younger people at far less of a rate. In your medical understanding, why might this be the case?
So the one hypothesis, so as I said, and as everyone says, and we know it's ongoing, we're learning. One hypothesis is that the molecule that is necessary for the virus to enter the cells in the body in babies is less developed. So the virus doesn't enter the cells as easily as it does in older people. So that's a hypothesis. I'm by no means an expert virologist.
Research is ongoing, just out of interest there. So if you do suspect that your baby is sick or they're showing some kind of symptoms, what is the first plan of action to take?
So at the moment, we still follow the NICD guidelines. So our case definition has remained the same. So if you have symptoms, so fever, upper respiratory, in a child now, fever, upper respiratory tract symptoms, sore throat, rain nose, cough, the normal things they say with coronavirus, specifically a dry cough. And together with that, you have either traveled in the last 14 days or you've been in contact with someone who has confirmed coronavirus, then we would consider you a possible a person under investigation. In that case, it's very important not just to go to your doctor's office or go to your emergency unit, but to phone ahead of time and tell them, this is what I have, these are the symptoms, and this is why I'm concerned. And they will then be able, telephonically, to be able to give you advice
the right course.
and the right course of action. And because we don't want to a patient under investigation or a person under investigation just to come and sit in our waiting room in our emergency units or in our doctor's offices, because we want to isolate them, and we will then see them in a separate space, but we'll discuss that telephonically.
And it's also, I think people are underestimating, and this has been probably what's hitting maybe places like the UK hardest, the stress that it puts on the infrastructure that is there. We have limited amounts of people, limited amounts of face masks, and it's great for everyone running around with a face mask on, but that's not actually how it works. And in a hospital, every time they see a patient, face mask has to come off and a new one has to be put on. These are all finite resources that we really have to manage. And maybe this is a bit of a human question as much as a doctor's question. What do we then have to do if I started to exhibit symptoms, or worse, mom starts to exhibit symptoms, and especially in the case of a newborn?
Yes, so what we know so far is that the virus is not excreted in breast milk. So if a mother is coronavirus positive and is symptomatic, she can continue breastfeeding with a face mask and washing her hands. That is, of course, going to be something that she and her partner will have to talk about. Some mothers might opt to then isolate themselves from the baby for 14 days, continuing to express milk for that baby to still have the benefits of breast milk, but the baby can also continue breastfeeding, permitting she washes her hands regularly and wears a face mask during the breastfeeding.
Yeah. One of the big concerns with schools being closed down across the country is, what do parents do if daycare was their option of taking care of children while they go to work? And of course now the continuation of work in certain companies, but now you have children that used to be in daycare.
Yes, and now they're at home.
And they're at home. What do you suggest?
The big thing is our daycares have been closed.
Yeah.
And they have been closed for a month and will reopen, scheduled to reopen in the middle of April. So kids are at home. And our biggest concern when we think of that scenario, especially with parents who cannot afford to be at home or cannot, due to the line of work that they do, someone like me, for example, who cannot be at home, and the child has to stay with someone else. And what we use, our resource for most of us, is to use our grandparents. And unfortunately, that is scary because older people, elderly people, are more susceptible to the virus and more susceptible of contracting severe disease from the virus, requiring hospitalization and etc. So self-isolation, good hand hygiene, the basics still remain, but it is an ongoing problem. It's a dilemma. I don't have a nice answer for it.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Perhaps maybe looking at the community around you, you know, organizing in very, very small, controlled groups with other parents that might have a child, of course, people that you trust.
I think that is what many people are doing.
Taking shifts, so to speak, and obviously speaking to your employer as well and making them understand that these are unprecedented times that require extraordinary action. Wow, yeah, this is where we are.
Still many questions. Thank you again so much, Doctor, for joining us to answer them. I know a very tricky space that we're working in because this is unprecedented, yes, and because so much research is still being done at the moment. We don't have any definitive answers, but we'll start asking more questions on the other side of this as we continue this discussion.
Who says second-hand is second best? At Cash Converters, you can buy top brands at bargain prices and sell your goods for instant cash.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful people. You are still live and living your best life right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, only on SABC3. It's a Thursday.
It is a Thursday. What's it called? Fake Friday.
Fake Friday. Fake Friday.
Now, guys, I know that over the last couple of days we've had a very serious conversation about care, right? And what care means specifically when it relates to children. And here's one brand, Vicks, out there really just spreading the message of care with Sulu. Take a look at this.
In today's world, your family is defined by who you care for and who cares for you. Every child deserves the touch of care. Vicks.
Family is defined by who you care for and who cares for you. At Vicks, they believe everyone deserves a touch of care, especially children who've gone through life's greatest difficulties, such as abandonment. In realizing the transformative power of care, they have decided to share exceptional stories of people who have lived by it through their actions. One such person is Lizo Tom, and the film Where Joy Lives tells the story of an orphan as well as the power of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Let's take a look.
Ngalahlekelwa indodana yami yokuqala nokugcina. Indalo iyayithembise ukuthi siyongcwatshwa izingane zethu. Ngitshele wenze njani uma umhlaba ukujikela. Igama lakhe kwakunguluvuyo okusho injabulo. Uma injabulo ikushiya ubambelele ethembeni.
Gcina ba.
Uyazi ukuthi uma wathini kumina?
Ke wayihamba le ndlela. Kusukela ekuqaleni walahlekelwa konke.
Uyabona ngazalwa ngaphambi kwesikhathi eTavern. Ngayishiwe esibhedlela. Umama ongizalayo zange ngimazi. Emva kwalokho ngathathwa ngasiwa kude le emakhaya ezintandaneni. Kulapho ngahlangana khona nomama wami, umama Abisana. Owayishintsha yonke impilo yami.
Usekhaya manje.
Wangifundisa ukuba nothando, nokunakekela, futhi nokucula.
Umziyasha, kangela manzi, umilo.
Yini?
Bekuthi uma ngizwa umhlaba ungisinda, njalo bekwazi ukungelapha. Kwathi uma ngumtshela ukuthi impilo yami ayisasho lutho, wavele wangibheka wabuza ukuthi
ingabe uphilela wena nje kuphela? Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. Ungakhohlwa ntana.
umama uyena wangibonisa ukuthi noma ngilahlekelwe yindodana yami, ayikho into engivimbayo ukuthi ngingabe ubaba ezinganeni eswele ezingenalutho. Singaba nezwe limnane ngokumangalisayo uma sinakekelana njengomndeni. Bheka mina, nginobufakazi bokuthi ukunakekela omunye umuntu ngelapha, kuyagqugquzela, kuyavuselela futhi kuyaphephisa. Ma-Afrika amahle, singakhohlwa nanini ukuthi ngilapha ngenxa yenu. Iba isizathu sokuthi omunye umuntu akholwe ukuthi ubuntu buyaphilisa. Ingakho ngavula inkulisa, ngayibiza ngoluvuyo, eyisikhumbuzo somntanami. Ngalaba bantwana, uluvuyo uyaphila.
This film really captures the ability to rise above difficulty, and the story follows the challenges that Lizo faced and what it means to be human, which is just being there for others through life's difficulties. This morning, I'm joined by Vicks South Africa brand manager, Prenessa Pillay, to chat to us a little bit more about this campaign that Vicks has created around this topic. A very warm Expresso welcome to you, Prenessa.
Thank you very much. So glad to be here.
I mean, I must say this is such a moving film, and it's so great to see just how much a touch of care can really go a long way in helping and improving the lives of others. Why exactly has Vicks decided to create this campaign? Talk to us more about it.
Well, as we know, not every child is born into a family that gives them unconditional love and nurturing, but every child does deserve the touch of care, and that's exactly what the campaign is about. It's intended to inspire families and people all over South Africa to give a child a touch of care, which can really help them in any way or form to overcome their circumstances and really drive them to deliver their ultimate potential.
What exactly does a touch of care mean, and how can people create a conversation around this topic and implement and give a touch of care to others?
A touch of care can be something big, something small. There's no actual prescribed way in how we give a touch of care. It could be giving a meal to a homeless child. It could be saying something kind to a child. It's some way to inspire or to improve the life of a child in however you're able to do it. There's no prescribed way. We're just encouraging this overall culture of giving back to children.
One person that encompasses what this campaign is all about and that's been instrumental to it has to be Springbok captain Siya Kolisi. Talk to us more about his involvement in this project.
So the campaign really resonated with Siya. You know, we all know Siya Kolisi for his exceptional talent on the rugby field, but it really comes back to what a big heart him and his wife Rachel have. When Sia's mom passed away, Siya and his wife Rachel decided to adopt his siblings and give them a family and give them a home. And he he himself has mentioned what a difference this has made to the lives of his siblings and to their family, and this has really allowed them to reach their full potential.
I'm sure there are a lot of people sitting at home watching right now and wondering how they too can get involved in this brilliant campaign. How exactly can they go about doing just that, Pranessa?
So Vicks is supporting a number of incredible charities. However, it doesn't have to be something that's monetary related or charity related. As we said before, it's just about creating a conversation, creating an awareness of this topic, and finding a way to give back to children in whatever way you can. Whether it's big, whether it's small, that touch of care can change a child's life forever.
Thank you very much for joining us on Expresso, Pranessa, and really just sharing with us just how brilliant of a campaign this is. And we look forward to having you back on the show.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate being here.
As you've heard from Pranessa herself, it's that simple. The Vicks Touch of Care campaign is so special. I mean, it's just a small act that could really impact a huge way on a child's life, on someone else's life that is in need. For now, though, it is back to you guys in studio.
Oh, thank you so much, Tsulu Piri, and thank you so much, Miss Pillay from Vicks. This is fantastic. I love when brands step into our communities and affect change in the way that they're doing, really looking after children, but the most vulnerable children as well, those who have been abandoned. Love that. Love to see it.
Absolutely love to see it. The content that we always sign up for, especially during this time, you know, where a lot of people can feel neglected because everyone is just in a state of panic. So kudos to Vicks, man.
Yeah. Princess, a cup of coffee, please, my angel. We'll see you after this. After the break, we continue with our baby talk conversation, specifically relating to the coronavirus and how this affects children, what we need to be doing as parents. See you after this.
I took it.
Rise and shine. There's no better way to wake up other than with Mackie D's for breakfast. Download the McDonald's app for delicious daily deals and start your day the right way.
Hey, babe, check this.
Fascinating.
You know, I don't mean to brag or anything, but
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Brought to you by Pharmacodynamics.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Normally, that beautiful little giggle would bring a smile to my face, but quite a hard topic in Baby Talk. Today, we are talking about the coronavirus, what risks our little ones, babies and children are under at this very dark time. Dr. Philip Kutsia, pediatrician, joins us, giving us a wealth of information. I know it's tricky waters to navigate because there is a lot of misinformation and obviously not a huge amount of research has been concluded. Yes. So thank you for kind of putting yourself out there like this. We know that there is no vaccination against the coronavirus, but presumably we should still be getting our babies vaccinated.
Please, that's very, very important. I think the most dreadful thing that could come of this coronavirus epidemic is that people don't take their children for vaccinations, their babies, especially in the first year of life, and we see a resurgence of polio and other dreaded diseases.
Yeah.
So please continue to take your baby for routine vaccinations.
Yeah,
definitely.
And these are the routine vaccinations that we're talking about, but moving into winter and the flu and cold season, should you be taking a flu shot right now?
I think that is incredibly important to take the flu vaccine this year, not only to protect yourself against the flu virus, but also to give you to sort of give you a bit of peace of mind. Because in children we know that flu virus kills a lot more kids than coronavirus hasn't killed any kids, and yearly we see lots of deaths from the influenza virus. So where the coronavirus is very serious in terms of death rates in elderly and sickly people, and kids not so much so far. Influenza, however, every single winter we see a lot of deaths from influenza, so it still remains incredibly important to take your child from the age of 6 months upwards for the yearly flu vaccine.
Quick question that I have though, in my understanding of how the flu vaccine works is that the vaccine itself infects you with a small amount of the virus that allows your body to build up an immune
response.
Inactivated virus, yes. So,
an inactivated virus.
The DNA of the virus.
Yes. Okay, so it won't by any means like lower your immunity for a second, thus giving a potential weaken you for a moment.
No,
that's not how it works.
So you can definitely go ahead with confidence and go take the flu vaccine. Obviously, the flu vaccine this year does not include coronavirus. Hopefully next season.
Yes. We'll have that genome. Is the flu vaccine included in your baby or your child's regular vaccine schedule, or is it a separate?
It's separate. It's a separate vaccine that we encourage, but it's not part of the routine or extended program for immunization in South Africa, except for certain vulnerable children or individuals. But we do encourage that all children go for the flu vaccine.
Let's talk about other things that parents and caregivers can do in order to strengthen your baby's immune system at this time.
Okay, so we've spoken about everything that the government says, and we've spoken about breastfeeding. So another thing that I think is very important, and probably the best way to boost your child's immune system, is by providing your child with a good quality diet. So enough fruits and vegetables for the vitamins and the antioxidants, enough meat and eggs for the protein, the fat-soluble vitamins, and especially for iron. Iron is very, very important in a child's immune system, and it's a very common thing that we see in toddlers. Iron deficiency is something that we often see in toddlers. It's a long discussion, but it's a very important thing that we need to prevent, because a good iron stores helps to boost your immune system. And then taking a supplement such as a zinc supplement, taking with some vitamin C or a multivitamin, some evidence also that probiotics help to boost the immune system. But at the end of the day, the best way to boost your immune system is with good quality food and enough sleep.
And enough sleep.
Yeah.
No, another can of worms. Come on. So maybe we can round this off by just summating what you believe would be the best safety precautions, because parents do get nervous, and I can speak with absolute authority because I'm moving back into that space, and I've got a almost 3-year-old child, and if I can get him to stop licking every surface that he, it's just one of those things that parents have to deal with. But what safety precautions should we be taking as parents of little ones?
Okay, so everything that we've spoken about so far continues. So we give them a good quality diet. We try and keep them out of crowded places for the time being. So shopping malls, movie theaters, restaurants, things like that. When we are anywhere outside of the house, we encourage hand washing. When we enter the house, again, we encourage hand washing. And I think that should actually be part of your routine. And this just actually gives us an opportunity just to remember how important hand washing is. And then I think continuing with your normal life to a degree is also important. Continue, as I said now, with the vaccinations, taking your baby for the vaccines, that's very important. Taking your baby outside, going to the park, taking a walk with a dog or with a stroller or bicycle, still not just being secluded in your house, but actually exiting your house, but trying to stay away from crowded places, and then trying to stay healthy
as much as possible.
As much as possible with the self-isolation, etc.
What about supplies? Do you have any suggestions of supplies that one should have that you can stock up on?
Please don't go out there and
other
empty
people.
the shelves.
Yeah. Considering other people as well, the fact that there are other babies to be taken care of, there are other babies that need food, and these supplies that we're about to talk about that are quite important to have during this time.
So the supplies specifically for possible coronavirus infection in your baby would be the same as for any other viral upper respiratory tract infection.
Yeah.
So in the cupboard, to have something to spray into the nose, a saline nasal spray and a decongestant nasal spray, something to treat pain and fever, whether it's a syrup or a suppository.
We've heard that paracetamol is preferred. Stay away from ibuprofen.
Yes, we've heard that. So something to treat pain and fever, something to keep the nose open, and some honey-based cough syrup if you have a sore cough.
Yeah.
But basically, it's all the basics that you probably have already, and you just need to make sure that if my child becomes sick or I become sick and I need to self-isolate for 14 days, would I have enough stock for 14 days?
Yeah.
You don't need to have enough stock for the next 2 years. Everything is going to expire and you're going to lose a lot of money because you will buy medication that is just going to sit on the shelf and could have actually helped someone else.
Well, that's it. Take a moment to think about others, not just thinking about yourself. And I think this whole exercise is just that. It's forcing us to move ourselves from the center of the universe and actually think about everyone, not just ourselves and our own kids.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kuti. And of course, I think most importantly, that protocol to exercise, if you do suspect that you are infected or that your baby might be infected, don't just pick up and rush to the doctor's office or to the emergency room. Call in first so that the right kind of protocol can be exercised. You would be otherwise putting other people in danger and thus not stemming the spread of the disease. So please be careful out there and take care of yourself. Thank you, Dr. Kuti.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Listen, man, a lot of people on my social media, especially on my WhatsApp, have been asking about our performing artist today, Palani Booboo. Absolute sensation with her latest album of Folklore, but also on our social media platforms, okay? We got you guys covered.
Oh, yes. Okay, so here's a comment that came through, right, on our Facebook page from Jovan Carvet, who says, please introduce the snack playing the electric guitar. The people want to know who, I suppose, the snack is.
You are a snack.
Well, you know, I guess.
You have to introduce yourself. Maybe let them know.
So, my name is Bradley Prince. I play the guitar. Yeah.
Oh, so basically, Jovan Calvert is out there just going, I wish you'd hold me in your arms like that electric guitar.
I love that.
I love it. Well, catch him on the socials. It is Bradley Prince right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. More gems coming your way a bit later on. We'll see you after this.
Thanks to you, Crush has donated 20,000 pairs of school shoes to children in need across South Africa. Keep celebrating goodness with us. Buy a Crush and follow the details on the pack for a chance to win cash prizes and school fees. Crush, share the goodness.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Just a few more moments to savor of the show. We're going to have a little bit of fun right now.
Yes. Okay. How good are you, G-Man, at keeping a secret?
Awful.
Are you bad?
I'm awful, man.
Are you
I
really
get too
that
excited.
bad?
I get too excited.
And you want to share it. Well, the thing is, you know, when you've got a big secret, but you're not allowed to talk about it, tell anyone about it. That's me basically right now. Because yesterday, I was very fortunate to pick up my brand new ride from Suzuki. Do you guys see that? Yes, Suzuki has hooked us up with a car. And since I'm not allowed to reveal too much about it yet, I want you guys at home to guess which Suzuki model is under the cover. Okay.
I wonder, can you
All
give me a
right,
clue?
I can give you a clue. I want you to start right here before the guys at home start guessing, but maybe they can guess at the same time as well. You can drink it.
No. It sounds like a
Think of all the different types of
An
esprit. What is esprit?
A spritzer.
What's a
Eh?
spritzer?
A
No.
spritzer.
No, not quite.
Come
Do you want
on,
to
that
give
would
one
be
more,
quite a cool
one more
name.
guess, maybe?
I don't know.
Think of all your favorite cocktails, maybe. Think of all your beverages, your warmer
Is it a
beverages, maybe.
margarita?
Or
A margarita would be quite exciting.
Maybe a cup.
I don't know.
Think of Princess.
A
Cappuccino, maybe?
Hey, that would be quite cute. A cappuccino is a close. Am I
You're
close
so
at least?
Off, so off, but close. So off and so close. So we want to hear from you guys on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3, or at Expresso Show on Twitter. Java. Suzuki Java. And let us know your guesses, and hopefully they're far better than what Graham's been guessing this morning. But of course,
what is that?
All will be revealed tomorrow live in studio. Okay, do you want to guess something?
All right, so one more chance to enjoy the beautiful sounds of Palani Booboo on our Feel Good Breakfast Show stage. Of course, her latest offering called Folklore is out and about on social media, not just social media, but music distribution platforms all across. And it's a beautiful offering, 17 tracks of music. Bring that water in here. We've got to be taking care of our artists as well. You take a sip of that. Of course, a beautiful offering of songs reinterpreted that tell beautiful stories of origin and appreciation of culture and heritage as well. This song, I heard you kind of going through it, Baile.
Yes.
Where did the inspiration to bring this song into it come?
You know, I was sitting in my living room with Trezor, and he started playing some chords, and I'm not Tswana, I'm Xhosa. And this song came to me in Tswana, and I wrote it without realizing what the lyrics meant or said. So I was just like being a pure vessel. And what it talks about is about building good homes and stopping the trauma of domestic violence in homes with children, and building good families so we can win for all of us. And so it talks about how the men go to the mountain for circumcision, and when they come back, they don't respect their woman. But these women, they go through these rituals, but then they still work for the home. So let's find respect in the home, let's find peace in the home, let's stop hitting each other and laying hands on each other. And yeah, and then when I reflected back on the song, I was like, wow, this is really powerful.
I'll take the water from you. The stage is all yours. Take it away.
Thanks.
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.
Thank you.